Yeah,
John's
already
already in.
I haven't even gone over there yet.
Oh, that's interesting. StreamYard created a separate thing for this, and now it is live. Okay, cool. I think we're good.
All right.
I don't know.
Maybe
Everyone's
so.
seeing us?
Keep your fingers crossed.
John, you seeing us? We're trying something new this time. John in chat, I mean.
I see you.
I think this all is working. We're trying this new StreamYard thing, as you can see up there. We're doing a new thing. And we're going to try this for this night and see how it goes. So that is how that will go. Yeah, it looks like things are happening. Sweet. Faces exist. Success. Welcome, everyone. It's Sunday night. That means it is time for the Weekly Dig. For those new to the channel, this is where we analyze anime old and new. My name is Brent. These are my fabulous co-hosts, John.
Konbanwa, Mina.
And Steve.
Hello.
And tonight we're going to do something a little different. So, over the past 2 weeks, we have been watching all of the anime coming out this season.
All the anime.
All the anime.
All corners.
So we went through, I believe it's 22 new anime coming out this season. And we're going to go through them and talk about them here. Yeah. So let's just see how this works. Actually, I have 23 in the list. And so let's go ahead and we're going to start with over here. We're going to start with if we can, that.
I'm trying to
not that
here too.
Not that. There we go. Okay.
There we go.
Well.
We're going to start with Kuchigire.
Yes.
Which is a very stylized kind of shonen anime, very shonen anime. It is based on the story of the Shinsengumi, the historical Shinsengumi, but very much shonenized.
Oh, yeah.
Not very realistic.
Is it?
Yeah. I enjoyed this for being a very shonen action series. It's kind of an interesting reversioning of the characters. It's definitely meant to be more over the top than your typical Shinsengumi series, I suppose. I also just really like the art style. But you definitely get kind of the fairly typical shonen cast here, who are all going to become sort of shadow members of the Shinsengumi and go off on various adventures. What were your thoughts?
It's definitely shonen.
Oh, yeah. There is no joke.
Yeah, that I can appreciate shonen. I know people absolutely adore shonen. I'm not sure that I like the art style, but I'm not sure that the character types and what they're doing has got me like super sold on it. I thought I thought the color coding of people was interesting. I think the resorting to the gratuitous violence is nice, that they're not, sugarcoating anything. But again, one shonen to me is like another shonen, like another sports anime kind of thing.
Yep.
I can appreciate that. Because sometimes, shonen can be just like, running in forest, tree. It's just kind of like that. It can be like that. I liked it for what it was. I thought the historical aspect was kind of interesting. I think we talked about this concept a long time ago, where, what would be obvious to a Japanese viewer is not obvious to an American viewer.
Yeah.
So the historical aspect of this is not obvious to a American viewer, but as we were watching it, Brent kind of said, "Oh yeah, this is a guy. This is what happened. This is a guy. This is what happened." And so it's kind of interesting from that perspective of what they're doing. But it is I think if nothing else, it is shonen. So if you want, and when I say shonen, it's not historical. Like it's not like a historical based anime. It's like Samurai 7, even though it was fantastical, or meaning elements were fantastical, it still had that rooted of like, oh, samurai of history and things like that. This is very much like almost samurai like Champloo, except without Watanabe's subtlety in it. In that the characters are more modernized, their character design are more modernized and more approachable. But it is definitely if you're looking for like a quick romance out of this, no,
No.
no, that's not going to be a thing here. Now, this character right here that you just put up, Brent, I'm trying to remember who he reminds me of in another anime, and I want to say it's Shaman King, but I know I'm wrong.
It's Yo from Shaman King.
It is Yo from
totally,
Shaman King. Okay,
absolutely.
okay. I was wondering about that.
Straight up
of Demon Slayer.
Oh, okay.
The protagonist kid from
Yeah.
Demon Slayer. I can't remember his name.
Actually, we may be able to do. Be fun. Boink, boink. Oh, that's gonna be annoying. Hold on. Do that. Go Shaman King. I'm hoping if this works correctly, we'll be able to do that. Yep. And then I can just hopefully, do the wrong thing and then do the right thing. I would like to, except that my computer is just locked up.
Oh.
I heard the digitized voice thing suddenly go.
Ding.
Uh-oh.
We got Brent in mid-blink.
Houston, we have a problem.
Well, it wouldn't be a dig without technical issues.
But it's Sunday.
There we go.
Hey, now we're here.
Hey, we got two of you. Oh, there we go.
Okay, so we're gonna try something different. That was fun. Why did that lock up? I'm gonna try it again, which is probably dangerous. It doesn't want to do that. Okay, interesting.
Spinny wheel.
Okay.
Right.
Yep. I'm trying to share just an image of Yo from Shaman King.
Okay.
It's fine. I'll give it a minute to kind of figure itself back out.
Tanjiro,
exactly.
Demon Slayer, Tanjiro. That's who I was thinking that looked like.
Yep, exactly. Okay, enough of that.
Moving along. Because we got plenty.
We got plenty to talk about, particularly Call of the Night.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I think it was hilarious that like one of the first things we said was kind of reminds me of Higashi Kashi. And it turns out, same creator.
Yeah.
Yep.
Makes total sense for the entire character modeling. Okay, cool.
Pretty much. But basic premise, young man out wandering around at night. He's kind of hitting a difficult point in his life and just kind of not feeling his normal average life. Wants some excitement, wants something interesting, and boy, does he get it. In the guise of a pretty girl who shows up. Why can't that happen to me? I want something adventurous, exciting, out at night, and a pretty girl take interest in me. Like, can that happen more often, please?
Well, I'm sure there are some areas of large urban areas where you can go out at night and find a pretty girl who says,
back in the day when I was sneaking out to go to the old 930 club in DC, this didn't happen, but I got to the club, but that kind of thing.
Yeah. Probably not quite the sort of situation where girl proceeds to undress and invite him to lay down with her, which is not awkward at all.
No, not in the least.
No. Happens all the time.
Happens all the time. And of course, it turns out she's a vampire.
Yes.
And now, to be clear, she just wants to feed off him a little. Like she's not trying to turn him. She's not trying to do anything look really crazy. She just wants a little blood, you know? Just a little blood.
That's all anybody asks for.
He's got a
Exactly.
lot of it. He'll be fine.
Right, totally. And of course, he ends up getting attracted, intrigued by the idea of hanging out with her. That's kind of it's really just these two characters in this first episode, and just kind of them going through this kind of negotiation of, okay, what do you want? What are you doing? All that kind of stuff, kind of figuring out all that stuff. Very much a setup episode.
Yes.
But definitely I enjoyed it. Big budget.
Good music.
Great music. Absolutely.
Really good music.
Really cool
throughout the whole thing, actually.
Yeah.
It's not just the intro and the outro, it's the whole thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's nice to see the attention paid to that in not just bland incidental music, but like something where it's like, wow, it's nicely choreographed with what's going on. It's like, oh, that's cool.
Yep, totally. So yeah, I really enjoyed this for what it was worth.
Well, I love Dagashi Kashi. I enjoyed it through 2 seasons of it, and a friend of mine at work had said, call the night. I had no idea they were related until today. And I'm like, well, that makes total sense why I'm all over this. So I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah. What was Dagashi Kashi like?
Imagine this protagonist, Gun, owns like a traditional candy store. Or not owns, but his father owns a traditional candy store. And Vampire Girl is a big candy company exec that is trying to like get him to carry product.
Okay.
And it just is ridiculous hilarity that ensues because he's got a female childhood friend, and like they're interacting around. It's really cute. It was a really cute series. I really enjoyed it. Not many people talked about it, but I really loved it. And this one, now that I know that, it's not just I'm going to wait and see how it's going. I'm going to consume this through the entirety because the music alone got me interested. The character modeling and the storyline it got me, and where I know now it's come from has really got me to see what's this new project like. So
So when we were watching this, and watching him, the first scene is him like gently closing the door because he's sneaking out at night and he just wants to be alone. One of the things you learn about the character is that he's having a difficult time, and he kind of just wants to be him. And so he's just kind of just going through the motions of it. And he's enjoying being outside in the night where it's quiet and he's not really dealing with a whole lot of things or people. And then, of course, she shows up, and before he finds out what she is, they kind of walk around the city a little bit and, have a couple experiences, one with 3 very drunk salarymen. And this is, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but this scene is on its own is just really quite funny. But it's one of the things that captivated me about this is that for me personally, when I was a kid that age, I did sneak out of my room a lot at night because I was on the first floor, so it was just easy to roll out the window and just go. And
roll out the window on the 3rd floor.
What happened?
Why do you keep coming back with broken limbs, Steve? No reason.
No reason. No. So there's a certain quiet and excitement at the same time at being by yourself in the middle of the night. And so when they were showing this, I was like, oh, God, I immediately identify with what this kid's doing. And it was just really kind of nice. And then this girl shows up, and it's just like, that's the kind of excitement that when you do that kind of a thing, that's kind of what you're looking for a little bit, whether you know it or not. And so, you go through this little adventure. Yeah. You go through this little adventure with her. And by the end of it, and of course, during, like the whole thing, you have this wonderful backdrop of music. It's I'm not going to say it's on the level of Yoko Kanno, like Cowboy Bebop in terms of like, this is what it is, but it's really good music and it fits to the anime. And somebody like John, like you said, someone took care to fit this in. Yeah. And so you have a good intro, you have a really good outro, and in the middle you just have beats that go on, and you're just like, you think of Nujabi and you think about all those guys, and it's just like, wow, this is really nice. So I'm really like, when we saw this, I think we led off with this, didn't we, today?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, we led off with this today, and I was just like, oh, yay, okay, I got one.
Yeah, it makes me now want to go back and check out Dagashi Kashi and see, like, did I miss the music? Because I do not remember the musical score to that one at all. Cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
absolutely. So I think we all enjoy it, and we should say to you, watch
it. Here's a surprise, one that we did not know what it was, but was kind of an interesting one. Chimimo.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, all you need to do is look at the visuals to get a sense of this show. Basically, a bunch of girls living in a house, like mother and daughters, and cute little, basically like slimes start showing up. And
unicorn slimes.
Yes, unicorn slimes. Hilarity ensues. Very much one of these, this almost feels like a Sanyo product, you know, where it's like, okay, this is some like sticker set that went viral. I don't know. And so it's adorable. It's very cute. I will point out, those who maybe immediately turned off, there's a fair amount of detail to the animation. Like they really have the characters moving around and doing, little flailing things and so forth. Like it's not all that cheap animation. It's just very simplified.
Well, it's certainly very stylized. Like just, you know what I mean? It's like you don't get those kinds of pastels and stuff by like picking out the red pen and just being scribble, 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 let it just fade. It's like, there's a tremendous amount of like work in getting this specific kind of blurred edge and kind of pastel kind of colors and stuff. It's like, I have no idea whether the toy manufacturer of the little unicorn blobs is like dumped a ton of cash into this for the stylistic look for it, or what the genesis of this is. Like, why is it? It's not obviously a kid's show, but it can be consumed by kids.
Yeah.
You know, we enjoyed the bits we saw of it. And it's like, so I don't know what to make of it.
It was, it's smart for kids. Like certain kids at certain levels are going to get certain jokes, and the adults are going to get it. And so it's one of those kind of shows. It's kind of like what Nickelodeon used to put out.
Yes.
But, it's like, here's a kid show that is a kid show, but there'll be things for adults who are having to watch it with the kid to go, oh, okay, I'm not going to be totally bored out of my skull.
Like SpongeBob.
And, but these past, And so like this particular scene is actually really funny. I thought it was really funny.
Yeah.
She's just getting rid of a week-old lunch. And having trouble with it. But like, again, the pastel colors, I mean, you're going to have to kind of run with that to get it. But here's just to give you an idea of the kind of levels of jokes that you're going to deal with in here is that every time someone's in there says hell or hellish, the little unicorn blobs go, their eyes glow red, like, and then another one shows up.
Yeah.
And they just keep moving. And then you're going to see a character in the intro scene that is an Oni. And so we can only assume that by episode 2, the Oni is going to show up.
Yeah. Full disclosure, we did not watch the entire episode. We got like halfway through and we're like, we got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cute. It's
well, hence I said the bits we saw. And it's like, it would be a relaxing Sunday afternoon watch, I guess.
Yeah.
If it was rainy. Just want something that's got nice, sunny, warm colors.
Or if you watch one of the other ones we watched, they were like, I need something nice.
Moving on to Extreme Hearts.
Woo!
This was another one of the kind of surprising ones this season. Because it started out, and I for sure thought it was a spinoff of that Extreme Baseball anime.
Oh,
like
yeah.
It was like, wow, if that's turned into a franchise, I'm mind blown. But no, this is set in a world where teenagers can get involved in this sport of sports.
Yeah.
Because you become part of the team, but then you have to like do like a triathlon of sports, like multiple sports in a row.
Except they're team sports.
So they're all team sports, exactly, right.
And they're hyper sports.
Yeah, and so they've got special equipment that like glows, all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, exactly. It's sports ball. But so you have to be good at soccer and
baseball,
lacrosse and baseball and all the various things. And any given championship or any given competition will involve multiple sports, but it's all cute girls. So it's this really interesting sort of combination of things of kind of moe plus sports.
And to add to all this, in case you all are wondering, yes, it is an idol show too.
Yep.
Oh yes, of course. Yes,
because the point of the sports that you have to win enables you to get on stage to show off your vocal talents so that you can get a contract.
Yeah. So you know how Girls in Panzer is like, Moe Blob Girls and Tanks? This is, Moe Girls Sports Idols. Just
because someone said we just need to throw everything into the pot because we'll see what sticks.
We need to see how many people will just go watch this go. I can't. Watching one eye go in one direction, the other eye go in the other. They're just going, I can't. I don't understand.
But I love Moe and I love sports and I love. There's too much to love.
It's too much.
And in fairness, the episode does do a surprisingly good job of like introducing the concepts, introducing the girls, giving you some idea of their various kind of, I wouldn't say damaged, but their various, approaches to things without feeling overwhelming. Like it was a pretty well balanced episode.
Yes, there was money behind this.
Yes. Yeah. The animation is not hard to look at.
Definitely. No, they know what they're doing, which is cool. And I'll also point out, like, nothing against idol shows, but if I'm going to watch an idol show, it's nice having an idol show that's not just an idol show.
Right.
So, we will see. Moving on to Hanami-chan wa Okuregachi, excuse me, which is this is a short one, 4-minute episodes, about a sentient pachinko machine.
Yeah.
Yes, a sentient pachinko machine.
I put it on my watch list.
In my non-existent parlor, pachinko parlor.
So yeah, guy walks into his pachinko parlor, and one of the machines has now turned into a girl who is sleeping there.
A very lazy girl.
Very lazy. Yes, the laziest pachinko machine ever. And hilarity ensues, right?
Yeah.
So this is definitely built to be filler, but it's built to be entertaining and take it for what it is and nothing else. And it's just, the guy actually owns, or his family owns the parlor, and he's just checking up on the property, and he sees this girl sleeping in there. He's just like, you need to get out. And then she goes, no, here's what I can do. And she transforms into a pachinko machine. And of course, he's just like, I can make money. All right.
I love when she transformed, because it's like 1 minute, cute, funny girl. Next minute, it's just a machine.
Yeah.
It's like not doing anything. It's just like chunk.
It's great. There's a whole transformation scene and just chunk.
And then you have the hilarity of the what the statements that follow. Press the buttons. Oh
yeah. Oh my. Yeah, it's gonna be filler. I'm definitely gonna sit down with it. It reminded me, if you took a Kikon, the one where the girls come out of the soda cans and become sentient.
Yeah.
It reminds me, if you took that from 23 minutes an episode, just quashed it down, just cut out the filler, or just like, nope, it's just girl machine. Laugh. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Totally.
It does its job.
Exactly.
Moving on to, let me rename this. This is going to be an interesting one. We'll see if this actually works. So we're going to switch over to one that I'm going to have to be very careful about showing.
Yeah.
Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World.
Aha.
So basically, guy gets isekai'd into a game world. It does appear to be an actual video game, based on what we're watching so far. It does have kind of video gamey structure to it, kind of the world starting area, that kind of stuff. Goes out. There's of course a bandit attack on the town, and he proceeds to murder a bunch of people.
Straight up murder.
Yeah.
And
lots of hacking.
Lots of red stuff flying everywhere. It's not gory, but very bloody.
Yep.
So when he hacks through somebody, like they don't cut away. Like you see the separation and you see blood go everywhere. So just be aware of that. So that's a thing. And again, kind of in fairness, it is meant to be like later on when he's like, oh shoot, like I'm actually in this world. I just killed a bunch of people. Like it is meant to be kind of, oh yeah, like that is horrible thing that he did.
Yeah.
In that sense.
And then it hits the bedrock and goes underneath the bedrock.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, they find out, or he finds out, that the bandit, the surviving bandit, gets enslaved by being captured. And this is a world of slavery.
Yeah.
No, actually, he wasn't a bandit.
He was a
He's
farmer.
the one. He was a farmer who swiped
The headband.
the bandit.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So
You're
it's just,
absolutely right.
it's just, he just stole something.
Correct.
And he gets
Yes.
punished for stealing. Yeah.
And boy, does he get punished.
Yeah.
Yep. You're absolutely right. Yeah, he took one of the bandanas from one of the guys. And so main character goes to nearest town, whereupon there we go. He comes across a guy with a maid who is not just a maid, obviously. And the kind of the guy who runs this is a slave trader, and says basically you could buy her, which he becomes very intrigued by doing. He gets very excited by this. He has some fantasies, so be aware of that if you watch this. This is from the uncut version, which is a little more explicit.
Yeah.
Because he goes to various doujinshis that he's read. But and that's basically where it ends, this episode, in the sense of well, here's a thing I could possibly do. It's weird, like
we all three of us had conflicting feelings about this.
Yeah.
On the one hand, we feel one way, but then we're just like, well, then there's this, and then we're like, oh yeah, but then there's that, and at the end of it, we're just like, so it's a hentai trying not to be a hentai, but being a hentai kind of thing. That's the way I feel about it. But
yeah. I mean, it's weird because it's we all end up saying like, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like we all uncomfortable at the end. Because the show does not present the slavery in a extremely negative light.
Right.
Right.
I think that was the thing that was like, it's just like, oh, this is the end thing in the world. Okay, fair enough. So,
and like protagonist Kun is not looking at this in a way of like going, oh wow, she's really beautiful and blah blah blah, and I would love to have her, but this is awful. So maybe I'll find a way to buy her and buy her freedom.
Right.
He's not going in that direction.
No.
Well, and this is the point that I'd made at when he was laying in the village, and he's just like, I just killed like a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like he doesn't. There's no like existential sort of feeling like where he's just struggling with the idea. I've grown up in a society in a way where murder is wrong, and here I just cut all these people down. He's not approaching the slavery thing with that kind of ethos either, where it's like, oh, no, slavery is just inherently wrong. That's why we got rid of it in our world. This thing shouldn't be. It's just like, oh, she's pretty. I want to buy her. Like,
yeah.
Like,
oh,
yeah.
Sorry. So yeah.
Oh wow.
That's the hard thing about the whole thing. Is it just so maybe in later episodes, like they address
redemption?
It.
Yeah. Maybe there's a redemption that we're just not. I'm hoping for a redemption episode. Like maybe the next episode he comes out and says, I will buy your freedom or something. Or comes to his senses or whatever. But as he's navigating it, and the whole scene was also creepy with the guy on the right who's a slave trader, and he's just like, why don't you come back in and let's have another chat? And he's taken to a totally different room than from initially when he sold the thief.
Yep.
And he's in a different room, and the conversation just goes left. And if it would have been me, I would have been like in my chair going, I don't want to be here. This is your creepy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, oh my God. And it was like the best used car salesman because he's just like at the end of it,
Yeah.
I can only give you this price for the next 5 days.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
just
several
like-
other
it's like-
people on their way in, and they're going to test drive her. What?
What?
Yeah.
No.
Mhm.
You're sick.
Yeah. So
Yeah. I mean,
Buyer beware on this one.
yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think that they've dealt with, and we discussed this, like they've dealt with the worlds where slavery is a part of it. Tatanayusha this season, we've got Raftalia.
Mm.
Naofumi buys her from the slave market and then trains her to be his sword.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? We've seen the slave thing come up time and time again. So it's not
Mhm.
something new. It's just it's uncomfortable that there isn't that element of like, this is wrong and I should free her, and then she's so pretty, I hope she'll just accompany me. It maybe we'll get there, and I really hope that's the redeeming part about it, is that he is just now approaching it as a youthful male in his prime who is interested in a female, and that he will then learn to respect and appreciate the fact of the value that she has as a partner and as a potential fighting teammate.
Sure.
I have a lot of hope for that.
Yeah.
We're hoping.
I've seen episode 2, so
Okay.
it's not hitting a redemptive arc yet. It's still doing more like world placement.
Okay.
So but there are some hints about how things will move forward. So we can be hopeful. I'll let you guys know.
All
And
right.
I agree, John in chat. Slavers as used car salesmen, the worst of all worlds.
Yeah.
Moving on to Isekai Oji-san, Uncle from Another World.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, this was grim but good.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. Definitely plays with expectations a lot. I don't actually want to talk too much about it in the sense of like things that happen in the episode. Suffice to say, and again, as the basic premise, young man's uncle went to a coma. He was hit by a truck goon 17 years ago. He just woke up from his coma, claims to be from another world, and turns out he isekai to a fantasy world for 17 years. Like, it is absolutely true and established as fact. And so it is, on the one hand, a comedy, right? About, oh my gosh, my uncle can do these things. But then also you start, then you start getting into his actual experiences in the isekai world.
Yeah.
And he did not have a great time.
Yeah, this was not like, hey, I went into a gaming world and I did the thing and I got the girl, yay, and all this thing and all that stuff happened.
Oh no.
And it really is hard to talk about this anime without spoiling things, because I really want to say what happens to him when he goes over there, because it's just like, you're like, oh yeah, well, he would have all this knowledge and all these things of America, of this time. And that would be, and they even address that he comes up with an innovation in that world, and things like that. And no, nothing works out for him at all.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you kind of get the sense a little bit that he's kind of glad that he's back.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little bit. Although he is upset about what happened to Sega.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
When they closed the Sega arcade, he must have been despondent beyond belief.
Absolutely. And this was released or at least originally published in a Sega magazine. So there's a lot of Sega jokes in it.
Yeah.
Sonic and Knuckles show up in the background at one point, or referenced. But yeah, so very much black comedy.
Yes.
It is dark because you realize what he's saying, and then you start seeing it because he's able to actually show his nephew how things work, work in his world from his point of from what he saw, because he has these magical abilities they can do. And he shows, and his nephew's like, oh my god, oh my god, you had a horse, oh my god, so he's going through this, realizing that his uncle really did not have a good time over there. It was really bad, and there's a lot of things his uncle was not understanding.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, his interpretations of events were different than the actual reality of those events.
Yeah.
So like,
Mhm.
oh boy.
But what is interesting is that when he comes back out of that isekai world and comes back to this world, back to reality, he's able to do the things that he was able to do in the isekai land. And it was and I don't want to spoil it all, but the way that you find out how he figures out he can do it in the world he's originally from, as opposed to back in the isekai land, you're just like, oh my god, that was so smart. That was so smart.
I'll also say it has a very distinctive art style, particularly character designs.
Yes.
I didn't really like them when I first saw them, but I definitely got used to them.
Yeah.
Like they work once you kind of see them in motion. So be aware of that. But yeah, this is one of those episodes where we started watching, we're like, oh, okay, we started laughing, and then we just all three of us just kept getting more and more invested and more kind of
Yeah.
So
There's so. Please watch this so we can talk about it next week or so at some point in time. Please watch this because there's so much to talk about on this one. I think it's safe to say that he's been under for 17 years in this isekai. His mind's been in this isekai world. He comes back here. So obviously he's 17 years behind the times. Right. So there's things that he's doing and that his nephew is helping him out with understanding. And it's kind of neat how he's navigating the world and his weird acceptance of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to stop talking right there.
Yeah, there's a it's one of those ideas. Clearly somebody had this idea. Wouldn't it be funny if somebody came back from an isekai, right? And then they said, okay, what would that actually be like? Like, how can we
actually?
Yeah, how can we make that dramatically interesting? Like, what would that experience be like for a random video gamer to get thrown into an isekai world? How would they actually react? Make it a lot more kind of grounded in that way. Then also play around with a lot of stuff. Yeah, cell phones is one of the big kind of running gags of episode 1 is cell phones are a little different than they used to be.
Well, I like I don't know if it's fresh necessarily. I mean, there are plenty of isekais out there where somebody goes to the other world and it's like, you're a farmer, you're a chef. I didn't like my life, so I decided to live in the woods and raise slimes for 300 years. You know what I mean? It's like, so you've got ones where people go into an isekai and they're not automatically the hero, but at some point in time they become the hero.
Yeah.
You have ones where folks go, they are the hero, and then they come back to this world. And it's like, at some point in time, they journey back to the isekai because this life isn't nearly as exciting as that life. It's like, I can't think of too many where it's like the hero gets called over and he's not a hero. It's like some poor schlep stuck in the nowhere. And they carry it forward and then bring him back. I know there was one that was several seasons ago where it was high school kids ended up in the isekai to fight a war.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a modern war. It was like medieval warfare. And they formed like the really good kids that had really good like magical abilities. They went off and formed like a core of fighters. And these were the other kids who just had some like very basic magical skills, very basic skills and how they were to survive. They were told when they arrived, they were never returning to their home world. So it's like, that was kind of the closest to this, where it's like, welcome to this new world. Here's a crappy experience for you. But he gets to come back and tell us. So I'm like, okay, I like that idea.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, very interesting show. Hey, Game Escape. Good to see you, by the way. Let us move on to Kamikuzu Idol. This is a fun one. Premise, pretty easy to understand. You have a two-person idol group, two-guy idol group. One is very energetic and wants to do all the things. The other is not so much.
Very not so much.
Kind of
he
a
just
dead
wants,
fish.
just wants to do the minimum and get paid, which is not working out well in the idol world. Whereupon he makes the acquaintance of a ghost, an idol, a young girl idol who had passed away recently, and now wants, of course, to have the experience again. So she possesses his body and sings for him, which neatly solves his problem, because she can be all energetic and Genki out on stage, and it all works out well.
And you can earn money.
Yeah, you can earn money.
Mhm.
And continue being dead inside.
Yeah.
But she fills him with life, even though she's dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's a joke in it.
Yeah. So it's okay. So he is, as the anime points out, he's a dirtbag. He's handsome, and he just wanted to use his looks to find easy money. That's literally his gig in life.
Yeah.
And he's doing this thing, and he's not happy, and he's just like, whatever. He doesn't even care if he gets fired, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So when he's sitting there, and of course the ghost of the girl shows up, and she inhabits his body, and they do the thing, and this is what he looks like as she's possessing him, and it looks awful. I got to tell you, when he's on stage and she's taking over his body, and he's doing the thing with her driving them, and I'm like going, wow, this I would be scared of that look, because that just looks like I'm insane. That is what the picture that we have up there right now, and that's what he looks like. But of course, the crowd responds to it because they're used to like him just like going, "Hi, yeah, I'm here. I'm gonna do the thing." God, I hate you all.
His deadpan. Yeah.
He's just not into it, and it's I don't know. I think this is probably going to be one of the 3 a.m. shows where I'm just going to be like, yeah, okay, I'll give this a whirl. I need a good laugh, or need a laugh of some sort. Oh, and these are his actual fans who love him for being dead inside.
Yeah,
but then we get a cut of them at a restaurant at the end.
And that was a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the fangirls. They were fun.
Yeah.
Because as we said, this isn't like a bunch of creepy older men and a younger idle girl, and they're just it's kind of like uncomfortable. This is an interesting flip where it's like, oh, here you've got this, very small and kind of struggling idol group, 2 people, idol duo.
Yeah.
And then their 20s, maybe into 30s, getting together as fangirls for these young guys, and it's just like, okay, that's cool. I like that. It's not nearly as creepy.
Yeah, exactly. Plus the fact that those two are the pop duo are clearly like young adults.
Yeah.
So there's much less she's in school. Age things with
She's
other
third
idols.
year middle school. Ew.
Yeah.
Back away, not today.
But yes, so but also I should say, one of those shows where, again, I think they did a fine job of saying, here's our show. This is the tone. These are the characters.
Yeah.
You like it or you won't based on this.
You get a little bit of CGI supported dance and singing, and that's all you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You make a drinking game out of this somehow, I think.
Definitely.
Every time he's called a dirtbag, and every time she says how much I love idling.
Yes.
Exactly. Let's move on to Kamicho Musume to Sumaragaki, which I'm trying to remember which one this was. Oh yes. This is the Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting.
Oh yes. Okay.
So
sleeper hit.
Yeah. Yakuza guy has to babysit his boss's young daughter. Boom. There we go. Hilarity ensues. Like, you can tell where that's going. I would say the things that kind of leapt out at me about this one is that, and John, you're talking about this, like, you show him like beating guys to a pulp.
Yeah.
Early in the episode. Like he is a violent man.
Yeah,
and he's currently violent. This is not
Yeah.
like we had talked about the Way of the House Husband, where he's a former Yakuza guy.
Yakuza.
This guy is a current functioning Yakuza member.
Absolutely.
So unlike for those of you who watch Way of the House Husband, like John said, he's a former Yakuza guy, and whatever you get of his backstory is usually a flashback of just like a single picture of him, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This starts off with like people getting like bloodily beat up badly, and he screwed up. He basically screwed up. Yeah. And the other part of this is that smile on his face is that while he didn't intend to go in there beating everybody up, this was supposed to be a peace negotiation. That's just what it devolved into. And he was fine with it. Like, he's okay with this level of violence that he's dishing out. It's not like, oh, I'm being forced to do this against my will. And he's just like, no, I kind of like this. This is my deal. This is my jam, and this is what I'm going to do. And he screws up royally. And so his boss of his clan, of his Yakuza clan, just said, either you learn restraint.
Yeah.
Think about this. A Yakuza boss is telling his lieutenant, you need to learn some restraint. So the best way that we're going to do this is have you take care of my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, at first you're just like, okay, well, that's an awful premise. And then you go through the rest of this anime and you're just, by the end of it, you're just like going, oh my God, he can actually be a person. And like this relationship is between him and the little girl is like, you can tell he's trying. Like he's actually putting in an effort, and he seems just like in the Way of the House Husband, he seems to be like, you know what, I can do this, and I'm okay doing this. And you know what, if this is what I have to do to get back in the good graces, this is what I'll do. But I'll do the best job I can do. And the big difference between Way of the House Husband is that the Way of the House Husband is meant to be a comedy. This has comedic moments, but this is not a comedy.
It also has some very touching moments.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like his thoughtfulness.
Yeah.
As the way that he's written as what you would expect to be just a cold-blooded, whacked-out narcissist maniac. It's like, no, you actually gave him nuance and an ability to like switch gears and be thoughtfully interactive with this very small child. Yeah.
She's barely in first grade.
Yeah. And he's not treating her like she's not there. He's not treating her like she's a pet. He's treating her with like thoughtful interaction.
Yeah.
Or burden.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
With thoughtful interaction, the things that he's doing to find out what's she upset about, what's going on with her, how can I be supportive of her, not just where'd the kid go. I'm tasked to watching her. It's like, no, you actually are.
Where'd that darn brat wander off to?
Yeah. And it's like, it's interesting in just this tiny little bit.
Yeah,
you've seen him open up in a way and a growth way that's like, I'm going to watch through the end of it because I really want to see what happens. Where does it go?
Yeah, he is so keyed into her emotional state and what she needs emotionally. It's kind of shocking. Like, there's some really good parenting moments in this. Like, dang.
Yeah.
Well, it makes me wonder whether we're going to get a reveal that like she's him. Are we going to get that at some point where like she's him? He grew up in a household where his parents weren't like readily available, and that he himself had no support. He had nobody to go to Parents' Day. He had nobody to go to the cultural festival, and that he's seeing that reflection. And rather than the tough, exterior, mobster that he's built up over time, he's actually touched by the fact that he can make a difference for her. I can't wait to see if that's the case.
Yeah.
Because it feels like there could be some real growth in that space.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that they're going to show that like he's complex, like he is a very violent person and very emotionally keyed in to this girl. Like, there are multiple sides to his personality, and there's good things and bad things. Yeah,
Well, one of the first hints that you get at this is he's walking her to school, and the guys that he massively beat up are about to jump on him, and his first thought was like, not like, okay, I'm going to turn around and beat the holy hell out of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just he actually looks down at the girl and goes, "No, she shouldn't be seeing this. How do I do this?
Yeah.
She really shouldn't be seeing this." And he comes up with a way so that she doesn't see it, see the violence, and see what he has to do, because he actually really doesn't want her to see it.
Yeah.
He's just like, "No, you're a nice little. I like you. Please don't turn around. We're gonna play a little game, and we're gonna do the thing." And he hides the body, so to speak, so that she doesn't see it. But again, it's that thoughtfulness of just like going, oh yeah, I'm with somebody who's really not going to understand this, and this really might be upsetting, and this is not a good thing.
And it should also be pointed out, like, she is very emotionally withdrawn.
Yes.
So she is not like clingy with him. She is not like reaching out to him. She is, she's not doing like cute things that make him go, oh, whatever. Like, she is just she could very much be treated as an object to be escorted from one place to another.
Right.
And it's just so refreshing to see him not treated that way.
And they do an excellent job of showing why that is with that one little scene. It lasts all of 15 seconds where the father tells her bluntly, but in a fatherly way, because her father's the head of the Yakuza clan, and goes, there's a lot of things that you're going to wish that I would wish for, but that aren't going to happen. But that doesn't mean that you can't wish for them. But there are things that I'm not going to be able to do for you.
Yeah.
And you just have to understand that right now. And so there's that whole, and the reason why I even bring that up is because by the end of the episode, you realize, oh, there's a whole nother storyline that's happening with the end scene that you get.
Yes.
Yeah, and I kind of don't want to spoil it, but it has to do with her family.
There's a lot more going on with her family. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And absolutely. I like the way that he, as her escort, and as her engaging her emotionally, that he doesn't tell her what her father does. You know what I mean? And now we don't have this in this first episode, but it's like, he being sensitive to her, he could have left the guys in a pile in the street after he beat them up.
Yeah.
And just been like, don't look, don't worry about it. This is what we do in the family. This is what your dad, this is his business. Don't worry about it. I'm here for you. Yeah. No, he goes that extra mile in what seems to be like this tacit understanding. She has no idea what they do. So she, as a child, does not need to see the violence, but she also, as a child, doesn't need to see what her father's involved in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I don't know whether that will play out in absolute terms or whether that's just a vibe that's kind of in the background. I'm making up myself. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, we're all very interested in this.
Yeah. This one impressed us a bit. Moving on to Black Summoner. This was another one that was kind of interesting, simply because it was, and again, kind of in contrast to the other isekai one. Guy wakes up in a new world, has powers, goes about doing his powers, finds out he's a summoner, and just the entire episode is just establishing him getting used to being isekai.
Yep.
And then at the end, again, this is a world of slavery. And his reaction to that is much more serious.
Yeah.
And much more like, oh, that's a thing. And there's a neat moment, and I don't think it's a spoiler, where he realizes this happens. He sees this girl. He's like, I wish it wouldn't happen to her. And he goes, right, I know what I'm going to do now. He's like, okay, gotcha. Yeah, he's going to go and, perhaps buy her. But again, get her out of that situation.
Find a solution to the issue.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. This is much different than the other one. And also, in both of these, it appears that before they isekai'd over, that they were able to somehow dictate
set things
what
up.
they
Yeah.
were dictate what their abilities and powers and things were going to be like when they isekai'd over. So they knew they were isekai'ing over in a way, or they go, oh yeah, I remember doing this, and okay, so this is what that means. And he is in this world, he's in this game, and again, he's kind of going through the thing, and he's just like, you know what, I'm here, I'm going to do the thing, I'm not going back. This is my life now. And so there's this full acceptance of it, and he's just doing the thing. And again, with the slavery, it comes up again. It's very salacious, the way that's presented, the way it's presented. And he sees it, and his reaction at first, you're going to like, oh wow, what a jerk, because he's just like slavery, huh? And he sits there and he's watching, and he's looking at it, and this is really kind of neat because he goes, instead of going through this entire monologue of why it's wrong or right or whatever, he just kind of looks at it, sees it, and just you see the decision in his face. It's just like, we're going to figure this one out. And I'm not really hep on it, but I have time to figure this out. He doesn't act in that moment because he knows he doesn't need to.
Yeah. Or he can't. Like,
or he can't. Yeah. So he's just like, okay, well, here's a goal.
At that moment he sees her, he has no armor, no weapons, no money.
Yeah.
He's just starting out at base level 1.
Yeah.
Right. So there's at least that. So at first glance, you're just like, oh wow, he's just kind of ogling her, but no, he's just like going, all right, well,
he's processing.
Processing.
Yeah, and they did a good job at that. You get a sense of the gears turning.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like, so the way that they animated the pause, the way they animated the still moments in his character while there are people mulling around in front of her, it's like, okay, kudos to you, because we all know from anime, it is really hard to deliver an unconscious process through visual means because it's just pictures and there's no movement and there's no talking. It's like, yet to infer that from him, like, kudos to you. That's a good piece of storytelling and art blending it together.
I have a friend of mine who really likes isekais, and this is one of the things I'm like, I think this is going to be right down your alley, because it is a very much an isekai. It is a straight isekai, but like it seems like it's made by a staff that's like, okay, how do we make this quality? Like, how do we really structure all these things to be entertaining and to be interesting? And it's kind of weird to say. It's kind of refreshing to have an isekai that's not trying to reinvent the formula.
Right.
It's just, okay, I'm in this world. What do I do?
Well, I think for all of the isekais that we have had over the last 5, 6, 7, 10 years, that I'm really looking forward to somebody, dialing into a little bit more and saying, well, okay, we've got the premise locked down, but now, like, what are the fine tuning elements that we can do so people aren't just like, I love isekai. No, what is the fine tuning you're going to do to make this that I love this isekai? And I'm kind of getting a feeling like, that there could be that kernel in there where it's like, okay, this might be an isekai that I could really get into and see how you're going to work with it.
You know what I think it is that there is no, for me, that was refreshing for a change, because so many, not all isekais are like this, but quite a few, almost, I would say 98%, where there's this like epic thing that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. Like you get the sense of
Demon Lord is coming.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And there's this epic thing that we're building up to that we're somewhat aware of or whatever. This seems to me a more localized story about him in this world. And yeah, maybe there might be there's going to be a big boss battle, right? We're going to get that. But it doesn't seem like this whole series is about leading up to that big boss battle. It's more along the lines of about what he's doing in his immediate or area that he can affect. And I think that's a little bit more refreshing than going, oh, I have a class 90 bone crusher sword thingy that, sucks the life out of slimes and, whatnot. But, they thoughtfully go through the process of like going, okay, here you are. You're going to need to get some slimes. And he goes out there and he goes, okay, I'm going to get the slimes. Very confident because, you know, in a lot of these isekais, the guy goes out, we know what to do. Bat, 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 bat. We do it. And he goes out there and goes, bat, oh, God, I got hit in the face.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just kind of refreshing to have him have a learning curve like that.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, also after all this time, as many people as have walked into the Adventurers Guild and signed up, it's like, you know, they actually ran him through the process. This is what it means to be A class and all the way down through like such and such class. You're going to start here. And once you've done this many things, it's like, okay, I could see where some folks would be like, I don't need to know the, you know, the details of this, but it's like, no, that's world building.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're giving that roadmap to him. Again, you know, he isn't summoned there to fight the thing. He's not summoned there to do the other thing. He's here for unknown reasons, and now it's up to him to like figure it out. Yeah. And it's like, and here we are, the Adventurers Guild. If you want to adventure, they're giving you background to it so you know what you're doing before you sign up. Wow, that's an intelligent way to do that. That you know, gives us some understanding. It's like, oh, this isn't just everybody can be an adventurer. Hey, welcome. You know.
To that point, one of the things I really liked about this show was the attention to detail about the world. Stuff like they have these quill pens out on the desk. Yeah. The fact that the girl next to her has like this paper, you know, posted up next to her with like things circled. It's really like a message to people about things and be aware of this stuff.
Yeah, this line needs to be signed. That line needs to be initialed.
Yeah. A lot of little world building details that I just really, really appreciated. So again, pick up your cup of tea if you're not a Isekai person. I totally understand. But kind of impressed us. Moving on to the big relief for me of the season, namely Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer.
Oh, I was going to say, shoot, Gold of the Future. Sorry.
Yeah. Wait till we get to that one.
Wait for it, damn it.
Exactly. So, as I mentioned before, I read this manga, love this manga, and the trailer trailers for this have not been particularly remarkable. I don't think they were horrible, but they were just kind of like, oh, okay, this seems like an anime. But I think this first episode does do a really good job of getting across the very specific tone of this show of being kind of a shonen premise. And by shonen, I mean like you know, Dragon Ball Z-esque shonen premise, presented with absurdity of like, this is absolutely ridiculous. Like, why would anyone pay attention to this? Why would anyone believe this is real? But then also introducing some of the subtleties of the characters and what their damage is.
Oh boy. So we started off with this anime, and I was just kind of, as we were going in the first couple of minutes, I was like, whatever. It's kind of like whatever.
Yep.
And by the end of the episode, I'm like, I'm watching this. I'm gonna watch this. I'm watching this. It takes you on that little journey in those 23 minutes where you just go, yeah, whatever. To that's freaking hilarious. That's even more funny. That's so absurd. Oh my god, that's crazy. And then you get the end premise. Should we mention it?
Sure.
Or should we? Okay.
Yeah. Oh no.
Okay, I won't.
It's on the back of the books. Like anyone looking it up will.
I was gonna say because that's a great by the time you get there.
So the little lizard that you see there is a knight. Okay, so that's one thing you have to deal with, but he deals with it in a great way. He just chucks the thing out the window.
Yeah,
and it keeps coming back and keeps talking to him. She is important later on. So he is. You come to realize that he does not care. Like anything you bring up to him. Yeah, I'm just kind of going through the motions. He's kind of dead inside, and he's just kind of going through the thing to go through life. And so then the lizard is like, no, you're the chosen one. You're going to defend this planet from the hammer of the gods that's going to destroy. It's going to destroy this planet. And they show the picture of this like big ass hammer, like almost like Fooly Cooley, the scene Fooly Cooley of the irons over the earth. And the lizards, it's just like, you're going to save the princess. You're going to save the world. and it's going to be great. And the guy's just like, no, I'm not going to do it. So you have that trope going on, and it's fine, it's delivered well. And then by the end of it, you realize he's just like, he's a complete nihilist.
Yeah.
Because the girl is like, no, we're going to save the world because I'm going to destroy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes, hell yeah, I'm with you, sister. Let's go.
Yep.
You know, and he's just, and he's in it.
Yep.
There is no good guy in here except for the lizard, who's just like, oh my god, I'm stuck with this guy.
Yeah, you're all insane.
Mhm.
Well, I love the way that
the
it's
lizard knight.
It's like it's almost like winding up a little spark toy.
Yeah.
Where it starts off and it's like you're keying in, there's a lizard. Choong, out the window. And it just, by the time you get to the end of this, it starts running. Where it's like, here we go. It's taken off. You're like, oh God, where's this gonna go?
Yeah.
Didn't read the manga, but holy crap, yes. I mean, when there's a giant gavel hanging over the earth, and somebody who's apparently going to destroy the earth just as spectacularly, apparently, like, wow.
Yeah.
What is winning in this situation?
Exactly.
Define win.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's so nice about it is that the tone is so obviously not nihilistic.
Right.
Like the tone is not everything sucks. We're all going to die. So it's like, okay, so why these characters then?
Yeah.
It's this wonderful contrast between. So are we? Is it going to be a fun show? Like, what are we going to get out of this? John in chat makes a brilliant comparison. Fooly Cooly.
Yes.
I think the beginning of Fooly Cooly very much feels like this. I'm like, okay, what the heck is going on? So,
is Haruka actually a good person or a bad?
Yeah.
Haruka's just Haruka.
Atomsk is Atomsk the hammer? It's hard to tell. It's the Mechanical Corporation, the hammer. Who's the hammer in that?
Right. What even is life?
Is everybody getting Fooly Cooly? But yeah, I can see where this could go in some extremely strange directions, and I'm on board.
Yeah.
I will tell folks just this: there are other nights. There are several other nights, and so you get to meet them all.
They're the hard days nights. They're the boogie nights.
Yeah.
There's the.
Let's move on to Luminous Witches.
Yay! Strike Witches.
And so we put this one in here because normally we don't do season 2, season 3s, that kind of stuff. But this is being done by Shaft. Is that right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're like, okay, I can't wait to see Strike Witches done by Shaft.
Yeah. And in all fairness, it is Strike Witches, but it's a lot of like the World ones where they've done Brave Witches, World Witches. It's not the sequel of the first Kids. Yeah. It's a whole separate unit within the Strike Witch world.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's like, okay, that was a hard throw of the dice. Like, well, it's Strike Witch world, but it's different character.
You know what it is? You know what? This is MS 018.
Yeah.
In Gundam. It's its own thing, but it's part of the Gundam.
Still the Gundam universe.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't need to, be aware, I think, of whatever's going on in the Strike Witches world.
Yeah.
Which is good because I've never watched Strike Witches, but I got it.
Steve, sometime I will sing you a song of the Strike Witch world.
Oh God.
I want to sing. No.
No singing.
No singing.
That's it. Again, it's like other than one or two little animation moments, this is just straight Strike Witches. Like there's nothing Shaft about this whatsoever. We're coming in. I think Shaft just want to say, no, we can do this too.
Well, that moment you have caught where you've got Bird Witch, Cat Witch, Dog Witch, that is Shaft movement.
Yeah.
Like the way that the animals are going and some of like the quick cut scenes when they make a face, it's like, oh crap, that's Shaft.
Yeah, definitely.
And then it's right back on the character model of the Strike Witches, where it's like, oh, okay. How weird is this? How weird is Shaft allowed to get with
exactly.
Yeah. So speaking as a person who's never watched Strike, which I am aware of the premise and all that stuff, but I've never watched the anime. And this one was the animation, of course, of Shaft is good. There's nothing. It's not hard to watch the animation of this.
Yeah.
And it's maybe I should watch the other Strike, which I don't know, but I'm not much on an Idol group, but it's kind of interesting how they bring this all together as World War II, not World War II, but this is the formation of a USO group basically, and a unit, and how it works out, and there's some interesting ideas, like for example, trying to get this group off the ground. It's not even funded yet.
Get it off the ground.
Yeah, sorry, unintentional.
Fly.
Okay. And that was not intentional. I feel bad. Anyway, but like they're like, well, can they fight? And then you realize that none of these characters can actually fight. Yeah. And literally, you're just like, well, what do you do with these people? And this is a realistic thing because you don't want to waste this power that they have. They have a power. They have a thing that they can do, each one of them, and they only have a limited time to do it with. And so they're trying to be a part of the thing and trying to be part of whatever it is. A couple of them are trying to get back to the front lines. These three characters I think are brand new to the whole thing. And so they have their own training that they have to do and stuff and personalities, but it's kind of like it's interesting. It's not going to be your total, I don't think, idol kind of thing. I think it's going to be more of a, hey, here's a USO, here's how they're going to do it. And I think you said this, John, while we were watching and going, yeah, there's going to be a point where they're going to be fighting.
Yeah,
right.
The show's going to get crashed by the bad guys, and it's all heck's going to break loose.
I mean, it starts off with an interesting premise. I was actually seeing the Strike, which is flying alongside, was it a Lancaster?
Yes.
At Dunkirk.
Yeah.
Trying to get the keep air cover over the troops at Dunkirk.
To evacuate Dunkirk. Yeah. And it's like I love Strike Witches. I've been watching Strike Witches since season 1, and I was just like, oh my goodness, I just enjoy them so much. It sounds kind of silly, but if you think about our experience in World War II as a country and a lot of other countries where they had these entertainment units that went around.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a legit Stars in Hollywood, touring around the USO. Bob Hope's eternal tours through World War II and Vietnam and Korea. That this is a full-on legit. What do you do if you're not eligible to serve? These are witches. The girls that they're featuring are not A-list witches. They're just they have magic power, but they're not A-list witches. What do you do?
Like apparently one of them can fly but can't shoot worth a damn. Yeah.
Right. So I love that idea, and it's like it. I heard myself saying it while we were watching this, thinking, "Oh, I love this. This is about the people that are behind the lines that are helping everyone to get focused and committed to it." I thought, I'm waiting. Here is going to be logistic witches. That's the next one where it's going to be like the entire supply chain where the witches have to like shuttle stuff, and I'm like, and I'll watch that too.
There it is.
Depending on the studio doing it, but it's like, this is the interesting backstory to all the frontline fighting that we've seen, where it's like, these witches will be there to presumably fill in that dire clutch moment, but they're going to be there to like help the population deal with the fact that our world is getting attacked by a really superior being or a superior set of beings. And we've got very thin line of witches to protect us from them. It's like, okay, cool. Gotcha.
Yeah. With no pants.
Pants are binding, and you can't witch with pants on.
No. That would be crazy.
I know. What are you suggesting?
Madness, I tell you.
All right, let's move on to Parallel World Pharmacy, which has one of the darker beginning scenes this season. Doctor specifically, isekais. Well, I guess technically a
pharmacologist.
Yeah. Pharmacologist, yes. Yeah. He's working on medication because his sister passed away. when she was very young, and he's very upset about that, as you might imagine. And so he worked himself to death.
Literally.
Yeah.
So this guy, and when we say he's committed and upset, I mean he doesn't sleep like a normal person.
Oh.
He's working at all hours. He has an alarm clock to tell him that he needs to take 46 minutes of sleep because that's the bare minimum he can do to keep functioning for the next 3 hours. And that's what he does. That's how he lives.
And he drinks the 5-hour energy drinks or something on the desk.
Like that's his dinner. You know, that it's whatever can keep him awake and to find the cure.
Calorie mate. I think we saw
yeah. And you know, he writes at a certain point a note on his wrist, which we will know will be important later on sometime in the series. But we get that wonderful, awful moment where he lays down and he's tired and he's upset and he's depressed, and you know, he just goes. He just you watch him. It's not like, you know, a cut scene. Okay, and next day we find out he dies. No, you see him go white. You see the hand drop, and you realize he's dead. But they still go through the scene of the girl discovering the body.
Yeah. He's done. But thankfully, it's anime, so he isekais into a new world with a cute maid girl. So. It's all good.
He can finally sleep.
And all is good. We think.
And of course, it turns out he is a young boy in a noble family. All nobles practice magic, and he has a pharmacological bent, so he can carry on pharmacology in the new world.
And pharmacology and magic are a thing that are intertwined in this world. So you have science and that.
So I'll give them this. This was, I can tell, kind of a difficult episode to make, because I've read enough of these novels to know I'm sure this was a very slow sort of ramp up in the original novel. And so they're kind of like, okay, we need to establish that he died. We need to kind of make some progress on him in this new world. There's like not a lot to say. Like there's not a lot to do. Like there's a lot to explain, but he doesn't go off and save the world in episode 1. So it's just very much him and his family and so forth, until he tries to use his powers for the first time.
Yeah.
And let's just say that goes in a direction.
Yes, it does.
And we discovered that there's definitely some implications to him and his magic that will drive this story in some interesting directions.
And they're not positive.
No.
Yeah.
No. Which is cool. Like I really love it when this guy is like, oh, okay, and you do a thing, and you might want to be aware of that.
Because this one that you see on the screen freaks out massively. Like this isn't just like oh my gosh, what did you do? I'm scared. Oh, okay, now I understand. No. She's just like, get away. Don't
Evil
hurt me.
Child, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Oh my God, Damien, we're gonna find 66 on your scalp, aren't we?
Yeah. And John in chat is asking, is it kind of like a sentence of a bookworm where he kind of replaces the soul of an existing kid? It's not explicitly shown as it is in a sentence.
Yeah.
We really which isn't as too explicit, but it's pretty heavily implied. In this, no, he just wakes up and he has some memories and some not. So I'm not sure.
He's relatively old enough to function and to do things. So.
Yeah, he's like 8-ish, maybe.
Yeah.
So not exactly sure how all that worked out for him, but interesting.
Wasn't Ascendant's Mine? Was her name Mine?
Mine.
She had a fever, and that's where the person from our world ended up in Mine.
Yep. Yeah, the magic fever.
Yeah.
The magic fever.
Yeah, so she had too much mana for a commoner or something like that. So
I remember we talking about mana later.
Yeah.
Sure will.
Like,
Before
Potent
that, whoa. 1 second. Sorry. My bounced all over the place. Now we can talk about Prima Doll,
Mm.
a new anime by Key Visual Arts. And this is an original premise by that studio about humanoid dolls.
yes.
So this is very much in the mold of The Day I Became a God, of what was that killer animation show we were talking about?
Violet Evergarden.
Violet Evergarden. It's very much one of those.
So you basically remember that one we did earlier, the Chimino one that we talked
Yes.
about earlier? You're going to want to watch an episode of that after you watch an episode.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes. Very, very cute Moe girls in a war where bad things can happen.
Yeah.
And do.
Exactly. It's interesting, like, because on the one hand, like, they are clearly trying to make it has all of the visual hallmarks of cute Moe anime.
Yeah.
And then, hi little girl, how are you? I'm fine. Where's your mommy? Mommy's dead. It's
Yeah,
that kind of a
literally.
show. Like, okay,
Literally.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is one of those shows that will try to break you.
Yeah.
So just be ready for that.
So we watched this, and I'm like going, okay, cute robotic girls. Well, it starts off like kind of a little bit grim, where she walks back to the train, and because there's like the enemy is up ahead blocking the railroad, and she walks back, and you can see this cute little girl here walking back, and then she's just like, okay, everybody start up, and it's just like all these like massive battle bots. They're just like,
Move out.
Move out. Yeah. And then it goes on, and then it shoots back to this cafe where these maids are, or dolls, Prima dolls are, and there's one down in the basement that's kind of turned off, and they're trying to figure out how to fix it because she has been fixed, and so they are aware of what they are. So it's not like it's not like, oh, I'm not human. Oh my god, no, they're very much aware of what they are.
Yeah.
And for the most part, and this storyline, which I don't want to spoil, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to think of what that character design of the girl who's sitting there that was turned off. What that is, but so in the story, the small story arc of this episode, when you through this story, you learn what they are and what they do, and why these particular dolls are in this cafe. By the end of it, you're just like. Somebody make me laugh, please.
Yeah.
Everyone's mommy's dead. God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be a laugh riot. I have a feeling.
Yeah.
No.
There's probably going to be humorous moments in reflection, which will do nothing but like completely drive the stake through your heart.
Exactly.
I remember the time we did that fun thing. It's a shame she got blown up. Like,
yeah.
Oh, God, no.
And we watched her head sail through the air.
God,
okay.
I kept her finger.
Has a memory of her. Oh,
yeah. So
it's good, but just buyer beware. You're gonna
beautifully animated, wonderfully,
it's a good story.
Yeah, I think it'll have good potential for a very touching storyline.
Yeah, absolutely. Just tissues ready.
Yeah.
All three of us were just like at the end of it going, I'm crying, you're crying.
Exactly.
Damn, Dirk got my eye again.
Let's talk about Ruby.
Yes, please, yes. Let's move on to something nicer.
So, people were worried about Ruby. Being turned into an anime, like, this can go poorly. It's gone.
We've seen it go poorly. Yeah.
Exactly, yes. Nope.
You will be pleasantly surprised.
Yes.
Yep.
For those of us who watched the 10-minute episodes that what's his name,
Monty Ohm.
Monty Ohm, rest in peace, did with this, and you're going to be happy that they gave it justice, and they the effort was made to keep that original tradition alive.
Yeah,
character designs, story I think might be a touch bit different. My memory is not so good on that, but there are, oh my god, the animation on this. If you like the CGI animation of Ruby back in the day, because that was, for what it was back then, it was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
interesting,
stunning for its time.
Yeah, time. You're gonna love this. And if you like the Ruby storyline, it's very much the same. I think there might be some things different, but again, a good soundtrack to this one. Another good soundtrack.
Oh yeah,
that fits with this, particularly the one fight scene. Oh my goodness!
Oh
yeah!
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
We were stunned. By the end of it, and we were just like, oh! And it's not this one, by the way, that you're looking at.
No,
it's this one. And it is
the one with Ruby Rose.
So if you're a Ruby fan, you're going to be happy. I think you're going to be happy.
Yeah.
John.
I like the way that they stuck to the story. I agree, Steve. I can't remember exactly, but it feels like some things have been a little either advanced or sort of skirted around. Like the later Ruby shows from Rooster Teeth, she's not talking to her mom's gravestone, so I don't really. I'm trying to parse that together and remember was what happened between this starting of, because this tracks to the start of Ruby anyway. Like I'm trying to remember how this tracks to what I know happens from the Rooster Teeth production. So we'll see how it goes forward. But baby, I'm sold on this. Oh boy,
yeah.
Was there anything in this, John, where you were like, not quite? Like, you didn't quite grab something? Like presentation of a character or of a situation?
It's a little piddling thing. It's like their corgi. I felt had a little too much squash.
Okay.
So like literally in the Rooster Teeth production, the corgi is correct proportions for a corgi. And this is what I'm saying, it's such a little thing that their corgi seems like the front proportions are correct, but it's literally shorter than it should be for the front proportions.
Yeah.
But that is entirely just a piddling moment. Like Yang Xiaolong's character is spot on. Blake Belladonna spot on. Schnee Weiss is spot on. Ruby's, and you just even going forward, I watched the as John had said, the 3-episode movie, which is movie. It's just episodes 1, 2, and 3 all together.
Okay, yeah.
So you don't have to watch them separately. I rewatched the 1, 2, and 3 movie, and it's like the characters that you're introduced to are faithful to the characters from the Rooster Teeth production, so that you're just. So I'm like, it's like trying on an old shoe, where you're like, oh, this is so comfortable. I know these characters, but it's not boring. Like I'm not sitting back and just like flipping through, being like, okay, go for another 5 minutes. I know what happened here. I don't care. That doesn't matter. It's engaging in a way where it's like I love the animation of it. I loved having gone through the CGI, and I love going through the 2D animation of it. I'm like, yep, I'm gonna watch the whole series all over again.
Yeah. 2 thumbs up. Like, this is one of those things you're like, yep, non-fan, fan. I think there's something here for everyone.
Yeah.
Something that may not be here for everyone, but we enjoyed it, was Shine Post.
Yes.
Idol anime. So, 3 idols who are not doing too well, as witnessed by their concert. See if I can show. We have a gorgeous concert scene, and then we see their current fan base, which is not massive. So things are not doing well. They decide to change things up again a little bit by bringing in a new producer. And of course, Producer Kun is not exactly what they would expect. He doesn't want to do it. and so they try to convince him to come in. What makes this different? I think it's worth saying. He has a particular power. He can tell something about people. And that is what really keyed me into this show. Besides it being obviously very easy on the eyes, like pretty girls, nicely animated. But there's a thing he can do that tells you things about other characters that for me makes this show quite interesting.
And there's a twist at the end of that with it.
There is indeed.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is a spoiler, but the power enables when he's looking at somebody and he's determining something, they shine or they don't shine.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah.
Shine post. Yeah.
And shine post. Yeah.
Yeah. Shine post. So that's where we're gonna leave it at. Or because I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
Animation on this, Brent, as you were saying, was we were watching it. It's going, oh my god, the budget. Oh my god, the budget.
And just keep moving.
Yeah, they keep moving. I mean, folks, when I was watching this, the stream was not doing too well for me, so it's like kind of very spotty movement. And even with that, I could tell that I was just like, oh yeah, somebody said we have the monies, make it. And spend
their
the money
hair's
on
moving, their eyes are moving, everything's all going everywhere all the time. It's like,
yeah.
I liked where they're going. I like the twist on it. It's an idol show. If you took that twist out of it, it's like, oh, failing idol group, gruff idol manager. Oh, will he change the day? Will things get great? Will they go to nationals? It's like, well, yeah, they probably will, and then whatever. But it's like, no, you actually threw something in here that's, again, you're tinkering with isekai, you're tinkering with idol. Good, keep tinkering. Yeah. Some of it's gonna stick, some of it's gonna absolutely fail, but keep tinkering because, like, I kind of like that idea. I like this idea. I'm like, okay, I'm not an idol fan, but okay, hit me with it.
Well, yeah, well, and the other thing of it, this is that the three of us, when we, collectively, our anime experience is like that of the gods. We have we have between the three of us many titles and hours under our belts. So when you have an anime, even an idol, like I'm not much of an idol anime fan, but even when you're not much of an idol anime fan, and at the end of it, you get that twist and you don't see it coming.
Yeah.
And you don't see it, you don't notice it, and you totally misread it. The whole show up until that point, you're like, oh,
yeah,
F me, that's great.
It's
nice.
Well, and it makes, not only do I want to know what's going to happen with them forward, so like this, your idol group and your gruff manager, do I want to know where that's going? It's got me curious because we're going to have more explanations about him.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? It's like, and I'm not trying to push the girls to the side because we'll get explanations out of them too because the things that are going to happen. It's like, oh my, now I'm not really particularly dialed in on your like success arc. I want to know what you guys are doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm so glad you brought that up because I think that is exactly the point. Is that we all know what the A plot is going to be.
Right. Yeah.
The fact that the B plot is so intriguing to us, that's where they caught us.
Yeah. A plot is get good. They got that. Yeah, we've seen that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, B plot definitely.
Yeah.
It reminds me. What was it? Anima Yell. The idol show, idol group thing from I think 2 seasons ago. Where it was all these girls are trying out. They're going to narrow the grouping down.
And that was
elimination
like a competition show, right?
Yeah. And the girls all turned around and quit because they liked everybody working together. And it's like, whoa, wait, no. Usually the idol thing, you guys go through preliminaries and then you do the final thing and then you have the idol group.
Yeah.
It's like, thank you. I liked that. And then you got these nice personal stories of some of the characters. If you had more time, it wouldn't have been just 2 or 3 characters with backstory. You would have had more backstory to like the 10 girls. But thank you. Okay, you guys you're continuing to think about the idol thing and how to do things with it. Like
exactly.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep. Totally. Now, John already gave us our transition rather. Will they go to nationals?
Oh baby.
Shoot, go to the future. Every soccer anime ever.
But done to the 9th degree. Like, what?
Oh no, I think it's about
No.
soccer anime.
folks, this is this anime in a nutshell. Will they go to the nationals? Oh no, something dramatic happened.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh my god, there's a lot of punching of walls and screaming and yelling and and you think, oh my god, what's the big tragic thing that happens? And you're just like, oh my god, he was playing with his bestie friend that might have been a boyfriend at one point, and something tragic happened. He died of cancer, Truck-kun, whatever, and you're just like, oh, what's the trauma? Why is he not playing anymore? Because you have to have that story, and angry dude always yelling all the time. Yeah, here we go, the BL stuff, and and then you get the he plays for another freaking school. All this drama for 20 minutes. All this drama and yelling
But isn't this what we've come to expect out of a team that has to go through drama to get to nationals? I mean, that's not what I expect.
How will they get together and get
exactly? How could these different personalities work things out? I don't know. Probably they do it every other.
Right. And they bring the old coach from the old team that went to nationals 20 years ago, and he looks like he's been drinking malt liquor all day, and he's angry too, and they're all angry, and they hate you. Oh my God, this is a malt liquor show. I mean, that's just soccer malt liquor.
But it will
be angry and play.
It
be
will
angry.
Turn into love.
It will turn into love.
They'll find a way to love one another to win.
Oh God, that just sounds awful.
Well, okay, maybe not like that.
God,
my reaction was not quite as strong as Steve's. To me, it's a soccer anime. It's very much all of those tropes played out. No worse or better than any other soccer anime. But it's all the things are there.
Yes. Precisely.
As I said before, we probably should have just said it's a soccer anime. Next.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I Brent, you had pointed out that it's like, wow, it has some cast back kind of anime style where it looks like, more of an older Captain Tsubasa kind of anime time. And it's like, I'm given that it doesn't feel like anything new, is this I have a difficult time not being so mired in like I have to watch everything soccer to understanding why would you make something that feels not particularly groundbreaking and not particularly new? It's just same old.
Right.
Is anybody really going to care? Or are you making this for the people that as long as there's a soccer ball, they have they don't care at all what's going on? What? What?
Okay.
What's the catch?
I think my insight was correct.
Oh, it's
a sequel to an earlier soccer show.
Shoot is a Japanese manga series published between 1990 and 2003.
Okay.
The story revolves around a boy just started at this high school in order to play soccer with his idol, but his friends aren't interested in playing until he convinces them to join the team. Then there was a 50 episode anime series that in 1993 on Fuji TV. Shoot Go to the Future is a brand new original anime television series that is essentially rewriting it from scratch. So I think when we saw those like shots, like the photographs of the old team, that was the old team
playing.
Gotcha. Okay. So this is appealing to the people who were watching or reading shoot,
Yeah.
and then saw the gotcha. Because for me, it doesn't feel like it's doing anything.
Yeah, exactly.
That somebody would care about. Just because it had soccer ball doesn't really give you enough sort of motivation to watch it. But that would be like, it's nostalgic. And
Yeah.
You know
and
what?
Wait, he wanted to play football before. Why doesn't he want to play football now? Right? It's that whole thing. Yeah. Okay.
Can you imagine how angry the live action musical is going to be for this one?
The Ice Capades
Soccer
version will
balls
be a
flying
disaster.
everywhere. Moving on to My Isekai Life, or Tensei Kenja no Isekai Life. Boy, talk about dropping you in the middle of a story.
Yeah.
You got a guy, he's a summoner, and he saves a town. It's being attacked by like zombie creatures through the use of the various slimes that he has befriended.
Yeah.
And a giant wolf.
His comical troupe of slime buddies.
One has an eye patch. I swear to God.
Yeah, and a mustache.
Here's how I felt watching the show.
Yeah,
it's like it was just all this weird stuff where like there's these horrible zombie demons attacking the town and cute slime blobs running around, setting up spells
and murdering.
And murdering things. It's really weird.
And they're all smiling.
They're all
Yeah.
They're all very happy all the time. And bouncing around everywhere.
Death. Yay! Murder's fun. Oh boy.
While Deadeye Protagonist Kun is orchestrating all this from the town, I liked it because I appreciate a show that gives you this kind of situation to watch and then has you understand the characters and how they're reacting to the situation instead of somebody, looking up in the world and saying, well, here I am. Boy, it sucked being a video gamer with no life. It's a good thing I'm now in an isekai world. I wonder what this isekai world is around. No, here are the characters reacting to the situation, and that tells us a lot about them.
Yeah. There's no convenient God. Hi, you're about to be reincarnated. Here's what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, plot God.
Yeah. But no, instead we get this the setup. So I'm sure we'll get a little bit more about the characters and so forth and so on in later episodes. But this was quite engaging for me.
Well, I'm going to see how they're good now that they've given us this like high watermark. How are you going to go back and like fill in the details on him? How are you going to go in and fill in? Why is he in this random town?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a wanderer. Obviously, he's adventuring. Like, how did he get here? Is this what part of this tour is this on? So, I definitely want to see more. I want to see, how did he befriend a slime with an eye patch?
Yeah, and
a scar. How did the slime get the scar?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the slime that just holds everything for him and he just opens his mouth and goes,
well, does it's a slime of holding. Really?
Exactly.
So like OG-san with the infinite pocket dimension of holding.
But yeah, this is an intriguing one. Moving on to Teppen.
Teppanyaki?
Yeah, I wish.
Okay.
Yeah. An anime all about a particular form of Japanese group comedy, basically.
Manzai.
And as we found out, a trio of anime voice actresses formed a Manzai group some years ago. And then there was a manga adaptation of them doing Manzai, presumably with other girls, and that has now inspired an anime series. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
But basically, it is fundamentally, it's seeing these various groups of characters in kind of wacky situations and hearing them all talk to each other about it. It's like radio comedy kind of stuff,
right?
Just animated with cute girls.
So do you remember a short anime a while back called Tech You?
No.
I think it was what it was called. It was like not tech as in tech, but like Take You or something like that. But
Yeah.
it was this very, very fast-paced, fast joke kind of thing. This slightly, I have a feeling that's kind of where it's going to go, that you're going to end up with this Manzai thing where you're going to end up with a lot of fast-paced attempted comedy and stuff. And then mixed with a show where it was literally 4 girls sitting at a table talking, and they would present an idea. Oh, what do you think about baseball? And then one girl would talk about baseball. The other girl would be like, oh. And the girl who's like the moderator would turn around and go, Dozo. And then that girl would then be like, well, what if baseball was done like on the moon? And it's just like, I feel like there's kind of a mishmash of these kinds of things kind of going on. And that if you're a Manzai fan and you know what this is and you're culturally dialed into it, this is going to give you some great little things to work with. I'm not there. I might go for another episode to see if maybe if I've watched enough anime, then I can dial in on this. That some of what they're joking about makes better sense to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of Japanese specific comedy in this, I feel.
Yeah.
It's I watched this and I enjoyed it for what it was. But I felt like I'm kind of like you, John. I don't see me buckling down and watching this. Right.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we've seen if it wasn't for the fact that there was like a competition aspect to this, I feel like this just could be episodic. One episode, one group tells a story. It's a fun storytelling thing. It's comedic and it's interesting and it's fun. But I don't see this as being, I think I said, this could have been like a 90-minute OVA movie or something.
Yeah.
You
can
if you really want
it into one thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, is there something?
It's not bad, by the way, folks. You should watch it.
Well,
it's entertaining.
I don't understand enough about Manzai to know. How am I comparing this? Is it like Abbott and Costello, where straight man, funny man? You get the whole hand slap thing that happens like when she hits her on the shoulder. It's like that is if that's Manzai, then I think I could probably dial in on how that's going. But I just don't feel like I have enough cultural understanding to like let it all absorb in a way that I'm going to really find it super funny.
Yeah. It feels to me more like Burns and Allen, if you've ever seen their routines.
Okay, yeah.
It's very much like setting up a premise and then kind of explaining, well, I thought this. Well, no, that's ridiculous, And well, what about this? Well, that's that's silly, and kind of that back and forth between two characters.
Yeah.
Talking about a situation.
Yeah, I used to love Burns and Allen when they would do the whole thing. Well, like, I bought this pie and it was cold. Well, why'd you buy it cold? Well, I don't know. It was in the freezer. And they're like, Gracie, you silly you. So I mean, if I'm understanding how Manzai works like that, it'll be interesting to see a trio of it. But
yeah.
This is not going to be my first stop in the new season anime.
Sure,
This will be somewhere down there. Like I'm burned out from watching like something, or I've jammed too hard.
Prima Dolls. You go watch.
Yeah.
Prima Dolls. Oh god.
Get some good jams out of Call the Night, then watch this for a little while, then watch some Prima Doll, then watch some Shoot Goal.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure very high on your list too will be Tokyo Mew Mew New.
It might be. I've not given Tokyo Mew Mew enough attention over like my life, so therefore, watching another episode might work.
There you go. So yes, this is the next Tokyo Mew Mew series. They like making these. It's cute.
Yes, it is.
Girls running around with various animal ears, doing animalish things in a magical girl context.
Yeah, I don't understand their weapons very well because they're not scepter, they're not sword, they're
fuzzy steering wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least hers is. I don't know what the others are.
Yeah, the other girl just was clutching it in her hand, so I don't know whether it like did something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I'm glad I watched it in the sense of being okay. I get a sense of what Tokyo Mew Mew was like, right?
Yes.
The overall tone. It's very lighthearted, very sort of fun. A lot of comedy, a lot of little situations like that. Clearly aimed at the younger audience, and had nothing wrong with that. But clearly that kind of structure. But also just like some really fun stuff. Some fun moments. Beautiful transformation sequence.
Yes.
That was really well done.
Tastefully done, by the way.
Yes.
All things considered.
Yeah, they could have gone a little weird
yeah,
on it, and I'm glad they
definitely.
didn't.
Because they chose to go weird on that.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're moments.
So when does this go all Madoka on us?
Yeah.
Does that happen anywhere in there?
So yeah, it's definitely down a certain alley. Nothing wrong with that. Speaking of, I'm moving around there. There we go. Let's talk about Vermeil Gold.
Yes. Yes.
Boy in Magic Academy needs to summon a familiar. Summons a succubus. There you go.
That's kind of all you need to know, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say
It's a very potent story.
Yes, exactly. What I like about it is that she's a very confident woman. She's not a Goshujin-sama 13-year-old girl, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's very much a I know what I'm doing. Yes, I'm going to do this. This makes sense to me. All that kind of stuff. She seems much more in control than he does.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, and that and her, she's, and when we say woman,
West.
folks, she's endowed.
Yeah.
And
she has a very strong back.
She's built a very certain way.
Yeah. And there's a lot. There were so much unintentional joking from us in this, watching this anime, because the main protagonist Kun has, and I quote, potent mana.
Yes,
more potent than most other spellcasters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I think I'm hoping we're not, anywhere out of like context, and the writers are like, oh no, what do you mean? This is no, but that's mana. That's what are you guys joking about? Like,
right.
They know.
My greater sense is that, oh yeah, everybody in the writing room was like just dropping on the floor, dying, laughing, like, oh my god, that's the best joke. Don't do the double entendre. Come on. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah, very clearly. It should also be pointed out, because it should be made clear. Well, I mean, first off, the mana is collected from him through kissing. It could be collected in other ways, but he's not ready for that yet.
And this is only episode 1.
Exactly. But also, like, as clingy as she is, and as all that kind of stuff is, it doesn't feel assaulty.
Right.
It doesn't feel creepy. It feels like, hey, I need this. Let's kiss. It's fine. It's not gonna hurt you at all.
Right.
It is mature old woman kissing a young teen boy, but it doesn't feel creepy.
Please, teacher.
Well, do you remember Kobayashi, Luoka? She's Quetzalcoatl. And and her, I swear her summoned kid is named Shota. I don't know for sure, but he's like a little kid.
Okay, yeah.
And she's like trying to hang off him, and he's always like running away, and he's like, "Get away from me! Stop touching me!" This, A, he's older, and B, he's not like in mortal terror of her touching him and getting all over him. It's like, okay, You've played that a little bit better, where it's like she's not so assaulty, and he's also not like, oh my god, I can't deal with this. It's like there's a weird medium ground, or middle ground on that, where it's like, okay.
And she does make the point to him, because at one point she goes, yes, normally I would just outright kill people who summoned me, but since you got me out of this book and whatever. And she goes on to say, well, there's a reason why human beings don't summon demons, because it will probably kill you from the inside, will blow you up. And we're just like, oh my god.
Congratulations, kid, you're not exploded. Thanks.
Let's
And
talk about
I'm
it.
watching this.
Not for the
Just for
10-year-olds, folks.
No. Yeah,
No.
not for the younger ones. No, yeah, very much.
I'd say somebody who's right around 14, 15.
Yeah,
That's about sweet spot right there.
probably, yes.
Which I think I said we were watching right around 14, 15, like me.
Well,
No.
well, what was funny is that when we watched whatchamacallit, we watched the uncut version,
Mhm.
and then we were watching this, and I think it was you, John, is this an uncut version?
Mm,
No, this is
Nope.
what it is.
nope.
So
Mhm.
you guys,
Yeah.
you've been warned.
Yeah.
She is not wearing that dress when she is summoned.
Uh-huh.
Just to be clear. Yes.
She's wearing a full sequin gown to blind her enemies with luxury.
No. She acquires this dress because the boy accidentally brought his sister's clothes to the academy. Which I'm just saying, there's an odd moment there.
And that was preceded by, "Oh, you're such an innocent," unless you have a really weird kink. Oh, by the way, my sister's clothes are in the closet. I'm like, oh, there's the kink. There's the kink.
There we go. Moving on to another comedy, rather different in tone. When will Oyumu make his move? Cute romantic comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Shogi Club.
Yep.
2 members. Guy wants to confess. He won't until he has defeated the girl in Shogi, but she's much better than him. Hilarity ensues.
He has to defeat teasing Tagaki-san.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Didn't you say it's from the same creator?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Which I've not seen, so I can't comment.
By the time we got to the end of it, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, okay, if this is what the whole series is like, I think I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Because it feels like it's not gonna it's cute about 3/4 of the way through, and then last quarter you're just like going, can we get on to the next plot point? Can we move forward from this part? I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. You know, I'm sure that there's going to be other characters being brought in because it has to, because I can't not imagine it's just going to be these two.
23 minutes every week for 12 weeks of this.
Yeah. No.
Well, I'll end up watching this because teasing Tagaki-san, I wasn't really super dialed into because I watched a few episodes of it and it just kind of bounced off of me. I was like, But I like the character model they use for her, and I like the idea that protagonist Kun, even though a lot of times it's kind of veiled as like not a genuine comment, kind of, but he is honestly telling her she's cute. He likes her, that, you know, he's interested in her. There is not any kind of dancing around. And like, what I mean,
right. Yeah.
He's not presenting it like straightforward. It's like, he'll just say it offhandedly. It's not like he's grasping her hand and being like, kawaii. No, he's just like, oh, well, I want to learn this because I want to spend time with you because you're cute. And it's like an absolute dead delivery. And she's like, what? You're just, stop it. You're trying to throw me off my game. And it's like, okay, cool. Yeah. And here's a guy who can actually express he's interested in you.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the other part of this is that you don't get that whole trope of, does he like me? And you're just, you know that they like each other. Yeah. They're pretty much forward with each other. Like, she's trying to get him to just come out and say it, declare his love, so that she can go, yes, please, and you know, they can both move on, get married, and have kids at age 16. And
wait a minute, the hand holding has to come after 20.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, jumped the gun there. But you know, like you said, he's pretty straightforward about it. You know, and she's just like, excuse me, I'm gonna make you confess. I know you do. I like you, and so there's no mystery here, and I think that might be part of the problem. But you know, it just goes on, and after a while, I was like, is this 23 minutes or 86? I couldn't really tell.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be kind of like Don't toy with me, Miss Nagatoyo, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I remember
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
Where that's the joke. The joke is that she teases him, but she actually kind of likes him, right? So it's like,
Right.
if that appeals to you, of kind of that kind of thing long term, this will work. If not,
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm curious to see what happens when we get more surrounding characters.
yeah,
That I want to see the situational comedy of them, supposed to get another member of the shogi club or whatever, that they're in some social situation, and it's like, hey, what do you think? And he says something in front of everybody like, well, I think it's okay because you're cute and I really like the way you look. And then I want to see, like, how are you going to treat this? Are people around them going to be like shocked? Is it, you know what I mean? Like, how are you going to play this off where he is so honest and so deadpan about it? And she tries to be, adult senpai, or at least upperclassman senpai, not adult, and play some of it off. But you know what I mean? It's like, I want to see how it works.
Yeah.
It wasn't the smoothest ride first episode, but it's got me enough that I'd like to see how they're going to develop this.
There was a point, now that I'm thinking about it, where you could see where the rom-com of it could happen, to your point, John, where she thinks that she's got another member coming in.
Yeah.
And it turns out that she's not, but then she suddenly gets worried about, well, what if he finds her cute? So there's that. So I think we might get that. I just noticed the panda in the room there. Anyway, but yeah, and he's just totally like, this particular scene is just like, I want to skip PE. I'm not feeling it. He's like, okay, we'll skip together. No, I'm going to go then. Okay, I'll go with you. No. He's just like, yeah, just follow you around. It's like, no, that's not creepy at all.
But I mean, it's nice to have protagonist Gun who doesn't
shy
away from that. Who's not
Shinji Ikari. He is not.
Exactly.
True. Yes, exactly.
I mean, we've all seen plenty enough rom-coms where it's like, will he? Won't he? Will she? Won't she? And it's just like, thank you. At least somebody in this is straightforward with what they're doing.
And finally, you're a deco. What a show this is.
Yeah.
We're all, I think, confused. I don't know.
I wouldn't say confused.
Right. Confused is the right word. But it's definitely thought-provoking. This style, you're going to have to get used to this visual style. It's fun. I liked it. But you're going to have to get used to it. And it's heavy on the concepts. And as I said to John and Brent earlier, I said, I'm going to need to sit down and watch this again. Because there are clearly some things that I missed. So this is basically just, I'll let you describe it, Brent, because I'll go on for the next 20 minutes about what I think about the lovey comments.
It's the metaverse. It's Facebook's metaverse.
Yeah.
Ubiquitous augmented reality where likes are currency. And they define your life and what you can or can't do, basically. That is very much the idea. And the main character is a young girl, or tween young teen girl, who sees no problem with this whatsoever. She's part of that, no worries whatsoever. And then things start to happen. And she gets sucked in as there are other things going on. There's a mysterious person involved. She goes down to Kaika because there's a character named something Zero.
Phantom Zero.
Phantom Zero. Thank you. Who is this a mysterious individual that if you can catch, you'll get all the likes, basically. And so she tries to capture Zero, and of course that does not go the way she expects it to. I find it very interesting because it is clearly playing around with this idea of, okay, what would this look like? What would a metaverse do to society? Very, very interesting. A premise definitely played around with a lot.
Yes, there's a lot of commentary about social media and
Yep.
Yeah.
and the benefits and burdens of social media on society
Yep.
as a whole. There,
Exactly.
that I and I think what I mentioned, it was like Summer Wars mixed with something else.
General Coil.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's and sort of the night is a long walk home, girl.
Oh yeah.
It's a Tommy Galaxy kind of thing where it's like
Right. Yeah.
it's just got a lot of this, a lot of visual density going on. That, like, I totally agree, Steve. It's like I've seen it twice now, and I'm still missing so much of it because I'm trying to, and it's not even reading subtitles. I'm just literally trying to focus on what are all the likes, the loves in the background.
Yeah.
What are the
Right.
symbols that are in the background of so much of that's going on and that I'm missing? Because I think there's obviously message there, and it's like it could be, maybe that image is linked to something else that is contemporary to Japanese current society and that has some kind of meaning that's being called out
Yep.
specifically. And that I really would like to go back and see that and see how they're working that, and then understand some more of the mechanics of the world that they're in. Because as you said, Steve, it's this sort of a gray cinder block world, and then this augmented VR is on it. It's just on top of all of these things. And so far we haven't seen like a beautiful park with trees
Oh,
and
no.
Right.
grass and
Yeah.
this beautiful, greenscape that has these things later over on it. It's like, no, it's this kind of boring urban scape, and this livens up that urban scape. Why? You know what I mean? What's going on in this world?
One thing that a character says in the background at the very beginning is that most people get their first ocular implants at the age of 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Okay. Yeah. That tells you a lot.
Yeah. So for those of you who haven't figured it out yet, in order to navigate this world in this fashion, you have to have that implant in your eye, and hers is kind of glitching a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's this great moment where she's just like, "Oh, I want to change how I see the world," and she's cycling through, and she's like, "Oh, I don't have enough hearts to pay for this.
There's not enough loves to change the appearance of the world." What kind of power is that?
Right. And her parents, or her mother at the very least, sits in a room where they approve or disapprove pictures that they're taking.
Yeah.
Which is a way to get these hearts, these loves, as currency. So it's in your interest, basically, this dystopian kind of world where this is like, be happy or you don't get the monies. Be nice or you don't get the monies. You have to be cheerful and promote happiness or else you don't get the monies. You can't be sad in this world. And one of the characters that you see in it is the one with the mirror shades almost and the weird hair, yellow hair. That one, don't know if it's a guy or gal, is moving underneath all of this and just acting as a thief, as a kind of a rebellious character to it, but really just living on their own terms, whatever that may mean. And so it's just kind of like, okay, where are we going to go with? Yeah, this is a particularly interesting scene where this character steals. Like, and there's a comment. Well, there's no crime in this city. Well, then you just watch this happen.
Yeah. Well, there are no possessions being stolen.
Exactly.
Right. It's just love being transferred. That's all it is.
It's just your social credit. It's not your physical property. It's not. Which, I mean, is a great comment on how valuable is a person in the current metaverse. That do you exist or not exist? If you have a lot of likes, you have a lot of Instagram followers, then you are somebody. You're an Instagram model. You're Instagram famous. Or if you don't, you've got nothing. It's like, oh, no, interesting world. So that's why I'm really curious to see how they're going to develop this.
Yeah, me too. All right, that's it. Those are the 23 anime we watched this season. Hope you found that useful. We'll be back in a little bit to talk about, some other things. Let me see if I gotta stop share and then reshare to share the trivia, and we will be back in a moment. Give me a moment to figure this out, everyone. We're gonna do that. Yeah, and we'll be right back.
Sweet. Do that. All right, I'll be right back.
Hold on. Okay.
Oh, there we go. All right.
All right, and we're back. There we go. Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Let's take a moment to talk about what we've been watching lately, anime-wise.
If
Other
you
than
could tell.
this,
A crap ton of new anime.
other than this season, yeah. What's been up,
Oh gosh, what the
John?
heck did I watch? Holy cow. Geez, I think I finished up. I think I finished the last episode of Spy Family last week. Gosh, what did I
Okay.
do this week other than new stuff? Watching Overlord the next season.
Okay. Again, it has been 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, well then I did. I finished up Spy Family.
Nice.
I finished up. Oh, what the heck was that one? Obviously, Love After World Domination, which I enjoyed the holy heck out of.
Great.
I'm in the middle of watching the I'm Quitting Heroing,
Okay.
Yamimasu Yusha, and it's entirely Chinese.
Okay.
And it's still kind of funky to hear. It's still kind of funky to hear like Chinese anime. So
Okay.
it's not that there's anything, obviously it's good. I enjoy watching it. I'm like on episode 8 or 9, but it's just kind of one of those things where I'm like, I'm so not used to hearing that in my ear when I'm watching something that it's just kind of like, I had to stop for a second and be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
This doesn't sound familiar at all. Nani? No, wait a minute. I don't know the Chinese word for that. And then just general life, catching up on things, mowing things, trying not to burn to death in the hot that is Virginia. So, that usually.
Yeah, you guys are getting a heat wave down
there. Yeah, we were supposed to get storms through tonight, and it rained for like 10 minutes. There was a little bit of lightning, and now it's just beastly humid. Very soupy. Lovely.
Yeah. Steve, how about you?
So, did the Where to Eat for Otakon 2 is up. So that is talking about transportation, how to not drive in DC because you really shouldn't, and you should rely on metro and trains and things like that. So, talking about that, that's already currently up. Tomorrow, I'll be doing the third installment, which is actually Where to Eat. And you were with me, Brent, when I walked around down there taking videos and a lot of pictures. And we'll be showcasing a place that Brent and I ate that was actually very stunning. So if you are at Otakon, please watch and take note of this one particular restaurant. I'll make sure to make sure everybody knows that go here. This is really cool. So I've been doing that. Finished Comey Can't Communicate, and praying to God that there's going to be a third season. It was a wonderful, lovely ending, but it wasn't the ending I always want. Maybe so that's going for third season.
Exactly. I was going to say next season,
third season. So in terms of actual anime that I watched outside of this stuff, with you guys, watched for some reason I decided, just because I wanted to, watch the first 4 episodes of Death Note.
Okay, cool.
Wow. Okay.
Just because I was
in time.
I went back in time a lot because so I watched 4 episodes of that, and I was like, oh yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like, I think you said it before, old pair of slippers, where it's just like a nice comfortable bed and watch it.
Yeah.
And then I watched a few because I actually enjoyed it, and I've watched it once all the way through on Adult Swim, but I've never managed to watch it all the way through without skipping episodes. And I'm going to try to do it all the way through again.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. That was Code Geass.
Oh,
okay.
Nice.
Yeah, so Code Geass, and so I'm on episode 3 of that one. What else? I feel like there was another one that I watched. It was oh gosh, what was it? Oh yeah, Gundam Wing.
Oh,
because why not?
Absolutely.
Why not?
Nice.
Pretty boys not doing idle, killing people, being terrorists. So, so that's kind of what was going on. And so yeah, how about you, Brett? What have you? And I watched something.
What did we watch?
It wasn't anime, but we watched it. A very young Christian Bale.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Mio and the Land of Far Away.
I remember you guys telling me about that.
That's a
movie. Kids movie from the 80s. Starring Christian Bale, which is quite interesting. That was a thing. But anime-wise, I watched the Sean OVA from the 1990s. So I mentioned before watching the Kashan TV series in the 1970s. The OVA from the 90s is very much a 90s OVA. They updated the mecha designs and the character designs. It feels very 90s. They did a really good job of making that feel more modern. The complexity is that the animation director and character designer was Kazuo Umetsu, the guy who did Kite and Mezzo.
Oh, okay.
So it looks like Kite. Luna wears basically a one-piece bathing suit the entire time, except the times when she is not wearing it anymore.
Yeah.
Wow. My.
So the issue is, and that was the one kind of standout thing for me, is that like all of the other elements of it were very standard. Well, actually, it strips out all of the goofiness of the 70s version and makes it a very, gritty, serious 90s OVA. But there's so much male gaze around Luna of just, shots of her rear end and, zooming in on various elements of the anatomy and so forth. It really felt out of place for the story. Like, that's just not what Kashan is. There's just nothing about that in the story. So it just really detracted tonally from the show. It just felt like, why are we doing this here?
It's like a fan servicey grab just for no reason.
Yeah.
And again, and in Kite and Mezzo, those are set in very seedy worlds where that's absolutely part of those worlds. It totally makes sense. So that didn't help. But again, I enjoyed it a fair bit until the ending. Why does anime like it's energy people endings? I don't understand. It was weird.
Because then they can isekai into a new world.
Exactly. There we go. And then I watched the Kashan live action film from 2003. The 2 hour and 15 minutes Kashan live action movie.
Oh, wow.
Yes, Brent showed me some of this. So it's very stylistic.
Wow. It is basically Kashan 300.
Ooh.
Yeah. Very much reimagined. So they completely rethink all the stuff. Bry King is now Black King. It is actually a race of humans created in an accident because the world's biosphere is collapsing so badly. They're trying to grow more human parts to replace human bodies because everybody's so sick. And so they have this whole vat where they're like growing arms and legs and stuff, and then like lightning hits it and people start like growing out of the vats, who are then immediately like wiped out by the government, and they have to escape, and so they become kind of this new little group out in the middle of nowhere, trying to survive, and so they just had to fight back against humanity by building these robots and fighting back. It's very interesting. It's very high concept. There's a ton going on. Ambitious, I think, is the word.
For 2+ hours. Hell, God, yeah.
And this came out before 300.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's really interesting. Very visually stylistic. It's one of those things where it's like, if you like sci-fi that shoots for the moon, whether or not it hits it or not, I think you're going to have a real kick out of this movie. It's really interesting. But again, just might not be up everyone's alley, and that's fine. I was going to say y'all hear that. I can't do that now.
Oh.
I can't do the transition. You don't have the video to the thing. So let's talk about some anime news, shall we?
We shall.
Let's do that.
We'll hear something.
Exactly.
Two new anime... odd not being able to say that.
Exactly. 2 new anime announcements are featured in our fun news section this week. First up, for TV anime has been announced for Hiroshi Noda and Takehiro Wakamatsu's No Longer Human in Another World manga, which imagines what would happen if an isekai protagonist was from a time far before video games and also was a real-life historical figure. The cheerfully bleak comedy, their words, not mine, follows classic Japanese author Osamu Dazai, who passed away in 1948, and imagines if he had been reincarnated into a typical isekai game-like world after his death. Poor Dazai only wants to fulfill his poetic dream of finding the perfect place to die again, but his fantastical adventure with cute girls and superpowers keeps getting in the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now that got me.
So yeah,
I'm just glad it's not Oda Nobunaga again, or
Yeah, exactly.
something, you know, like,
Yeah.
stop with the Warring States period.
I wonder how many references we'll get to his books. You know, how many of those will hop in.
I hope that they're using the dude's actual character type that they will. That'll be
Mhm.
peppered all throughout the whole thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Anime about people being reincarnated into weird non-human things are nothing new, but this week's revealed original series definitely takes it to another level. Upcoming TV slapstick comedy. Caught between a Yuri relationship, my life after it became a dummy head microphone one morning.
A what?
Yep. Coming out in October, follows a protagonist who's reincarnated into a microphone, which is a dummy head microphone, which is a type of mic embedded in a fake human head to faithfully recreate surround sound effects. Said person turned sentient microphone happens to be used by a group of high school girls in an ASMR club who are trying to win an ASMR high school championship.
Do they make it the national?
Yep.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Kudos to whoever was tripping that came up with this one. Holy
Yep.
cow.
Mm-hmm. Now moving on to maybe my favorite story of the week. No, well, it's up there. Anime and anime style figure makers can turn pretty much anything into a cute girl, including, as of this week, Transformers.
Yes, I've seen some of these already.
Oh, wow.
That's right. Kotobukiya has begun taking orders for their upcoming Transformers Bishoujo figures, featuring main Transformers characters reimagined as hot girls. First up is, of course, Optimus Prime with Megatron.
Yep.
Set to premiere in February, and a yet to be revealed Bumblebee design is still to come sometime in the future. What do you think?
Do they transform?
No.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
I was about to. It's past 10.
Yeah.
They transform all right. That jacket comes off. So
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
There we go. I mean, they're cute, but I saw the pre-order on. I didn't pay attention to the price on Optimus Prime, and I saw the pre-order notice on Megatron, and the thing's like $177. I was like, what? Wow, that's a lot of dough.
Is that right?
They're cute though. I mean, I'll give them, their sculpt is pretty nice.
Yeah.
So
They're attractive.
good on them.
I just want the non-anime fan Transformer fans who stumble across this.
Question of mine.
Why? You don't understand. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
Just accept. Don't think.
Just accept.
They're just waiting for the Dinobots line to come out. That's all.
Yeah, there we go. Now, unauthorized clips of anime being posted to YouTube are nothing new, and can be a source of frustration for the creators of the show. Dropkick on My Devil decided to combat this issue by uploading clips to their own YouTube channel themselves, and it's actually working remarkably well. The staff are disheartened after an unauthorized episode clip got more than 5 million views.
Cool. Wow.
But announced after beginning to post their own episode clips, the viewership on their own official channel has increased 1,474%.
Holy. Dang.
Not bad.
Wow.
Yeah, that worked out. Good for them.
Good for them. Exactly. All right, let's move on to some normal anime news. It's been a pretty major couple of weeks of news, and as you are all surely aware, not necessarily in a good way. Most relevant to the anime and manga world, beloved Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga creator Kazuki Takahashi has passed away at age 60 after a apparent diving accident. He was found off the coast of Okinawa with snorkeling gear, and his cause of death was determined as drowning. The manga ran from 96 to 2004 and launched the massive franchise we are all well aware of.
Yeah.
Of course, photos posted and various loving tributes provided about him. This was posted by Eric Stewart, the English voice actor of Kaiba. Posted him, Takahashi, and Dan Green. Talking about how they met him and describing him as not only the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh, but like all of us, a fan. End quote. So always sad to see that passing. Also, worth note, former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was shot while giving a speech on Friday and passed away later that day at age 67. But out campaigning for local candidate in Nara. He was Japan's longest-serving prime minister, 2006 to 2007, 2012 to 2020. A polarizing figure in politics, but known for the Abenomics policy, which tried to counter Japanese stagnation. Further confusion was added to international reporting of the incident when a French politician made a tweet claiming the assassination was done by the far left and included pictures of Hideo Kojima, the video game creator.
Right.
Huh?
Yeah.
Which, no.
That's no.
Definitely not.
Former JSDF.
A Greek television segment then shared the same picture of Kojima, identifying him as the alleged killer. No.
Whoa.
No.
Wrong. The politician later apologized for the tweets, saying he took an online joke for true information. And Kojima Productions released a strong statement after the fact, saying Kojima Productions strongly condemns the spread of fake news and rumors that convey false information. So, yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, I would have thought their legal team would have come down all on that like a nuclear bomb. They're like, no.
They definitely said they would consider that, but
yeah. Holy,
not cool. Not cool. In more positive news, Ken Akamatsu is going to the legislature. The creator of Love Hina is going to the House.
Wow.
The Liberal Democratic Party won enough votes in the House of Councilors election on Sunday to secure a seat for Ken Akamatsu, who will become the first manga creator to serve in Japan's legislature. Best known as creator of Love Hina, Negima, and just ended UQ Holder in February during his campaign. He's the founder of the J. Comey digital manga service, now known as Manga Library Z, and serves as managing director of the Japan Cartoonists Association. He's been outspoken in political matters since 2011, supporting freedom of expression in anime and manga, and often serving as a speaker to oppose expansion of the copyright law and the imposition of foreign standards on Japanese works.
Okay.
So, good luck to him. This is definitely the kind of free expression that needs to be protected. But yeah.
I wonder if everybody in like the parliament now is like asking him to do caricatures. Can you draw me on a pony? Oh, shut up. We talk about this finance bill. No. Make me look like I'm on a spaceship. Ah, damn it.
Yeah. Let's see here. Going back to more serious news, July 18th will mark the 3rd anniversary of the arson attack on Kyoto Animation's first studio building, and the studios announced a 10-minute memorial video will be streamed that day on their YouTube channel. It will be released at 10:30 a.m. Japan time, on for 10 minutes, with a minute of silence at 10:35. It will be available the rest of the day before being taken down, so it will only be available during the one day. The studios also once again asked people to refrain from going to the site and do not send gifts or flowers. They said in their announcement, quote, "With grief in our hearts, we've been producing animations while supporting each other and have kept moving forward day by day since then," end quote. So again, I just want to memorialize it and then move on. Continuing on to less serious news, live-action anime remakes show no sign of slowing down over here in the West, regardless of their general reception by the people actually watching them. And it seems one live remake was not enough for the ever-popular Death Note. That's right, a new live-action adaptation of the franchise has been announced from the Duffer Brothers, the creators of Stranger Things.
Well, okay, so here's my feeling on that.
Okay.
Let me just get on my soapbox here. So you can't get worse than the first one. you literally can't get worse than the Netflix.
Oh, I beg to
That
differ,
is-
Steve. That sounds like a challenge.
Please don't take on that challenge, anyone. So seriously, the Netflix version is it's awful. The only thing
We're aware.
winnable is Ryuk in there, and even then that's kind of iffy. It made me hate Netflix for a long time.
Wow.
So I'm glad that a group of people who actually know what they're doing, relatively speaking, with Stranger Things, and are able to create a franchise out of that, a very popular franchise that has gone 4 seasons, notorious for a streaming platform that cancels things after 2. So I'm hopeful for that. And I do hope that they don't do a reimagining like they did the first time around, that Netflix did. It's
So what do you want?
I want.
What do you want, Steve?
I want a I don't need a blow by blow fan. This is exactly, I want to be like the manga or the anime, whatever. If you're going to give me Death Note, give me Death Note. Don't give me garbage. If you want to reimagine certain parts of it, please, by all means, do so. I'm always up for reinterpretations of various innovative and quality thought, but don't just give me garbage. That's all I ask. Don't give me garbage, and make it enough to the Death Note that we can say Death Note, and then go, oh, look at what the interesting thing they did with this. I'm fine with change. I'm just not fine with bad movie making.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I feel strongly about this.
I was about
Yes,
to say,
I
you
can tell.
feel strongly on this, Steve.
The Pokemon family is now casting for a new unscripted reality series revolving around the Pokemon trading card game. They're currently casting in the Los Angeles area, seeking, quote, energetic, personable candidates of all ages and their families, end quote, who are Pokemon trading card game players or enthusiasts. The show is described as a, quote, fun, uplifting Pokemon TCG project, end quote, on the application site, which asks various questions about the applicants' personality and competitiveness, their experiences with the card game, and, of course, what their favorite Pokemon are. What are they making?
Money?
I know, right?
No, I mean, how do you do an unscripted reality television series themed around the trading card game? I don't know.
You just film people playing Pokemon, the trading card game.
Can't be.
It sort of sounds like what it is. You're looking for somebody who's fun and energetic. So you go to like a big hall and you have like the competitive ranks of Pokemon playing, and you just film that. It doesn't
Maybe
seem to me
you
like it would
follow-
be very compelling, but
Well,
Yeah.
maybe it's an actual, like, okay, here are 3 people of different variety, whatevers, and they're going into a tournament, and we're following them, and we follow them from, at home. Why do you love Pokemon? Why do you do this?
how did you first
And if I
experience
experience it,
Pokemon?
yeah, blah blah blah, and then you watch them go through the tournament, see how far they go.
I mean, that's about the only.
I bet it's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
Unless
And
it's
I
like
wa-
a
and I-
rags
and I-
to riches story where, like, I found my first Pokemon in the gutter, turned out to be a super rare, blah 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 blah, and I sold it. Then I got another one, and I sold some others, and now I run a chain of laundromats. I don't know. I have no idea.
From Pokemon cards in the sewer to laundromats.
They now call me the Laundry King. Oh, sweet.
They made a card after me.
My favorite Pokemon is the one I made here on this playing card. It's Washermon. Oh, God. Who screened this guy?
Well, the website opened this week to announce a new original TV anime called High Speed Etoile, made in collaboration with former Japanese racing series Super Formula. The anime is set in the near future, where cars can safely travel at 500 kilometers an hour, and follows Rin, a former ballet dancer who's suddenly thrown into the world of racing after having to give up her dancing due to an injury.
I've heard this story before.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We've heard this
Didn't we
story
watch
many
the
times.
show where there's guys going around the track and he's starting to
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
sorry. Different racing show. Exactly. From ballet to explosion.
An anime project has been revealed this week for a cute and fluffy isekai manga called "I'll Try My Best So I Can Pet and Pat in Another World." 27-year-old Midori is reincarnated into another world after dying from overwork, which seems to be a theme, and finds herself reborn as the youngest daughter of a noble family with a special ability to be loved by non-human beings, and does her best to enjoy the world's fluffiness. So it sounds like a drama, very serious, adult, serious.
Dealing with hard-hitting issues of the modern world. No
Definitely, yes. Fua fua. Crunchyroll.
Fluffy slavery. Those are
Exactly. Clearly.
They'll be tackling the hard issues of fluffy slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Crunchyroll held a panel at Anime Expo last weekend to talk about the upcoming anime and revealed 2 new anime adaptations. Korean manhwa Solo Leveling will be animated at A1 Pictures. Takes place in a world where gates to different dimensions have opened up and certain humans have developed supernatural powers. Main character Jin Woo is the weakest of all these humans, but after a fatal injury, is chosen by a mysterious system and given the rare ability to level up in his strength. There's also an anime adaptation of a romantic comedy called Tomo-chan is a Girl. It follows a boyish high school girl named Tomo. She tries to get her childhood friend to stop seeing her as one of the bros. Yeah. That's the thing. Another manhwa announced a television project for this year. This one is also an isekai. Imagine that. In Why Raeliana, not Raeliana, Raeliana.
Why Raeliana?
Although I'd watch Why Raeliana ends up the Duke's Mansion.
It's a real good question, actually.
Why did Raeliana end up? Regular girl Yunha is pushed off a roof just as she's getting ready to go to college and wakes as Raeliana, a character from a novel whose death serves as a catalyst for the story. She's determined not to die a second time and to change her fate no matter what. So
sure, name's like Katarina Kleiss.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Very much. Not Katarina Kleiss, but Katarina's Shangri-La Frontier web novel, inspiring a TV anime next year in a game. High school student lives in a future with full dive VR games, loves nothing more than finding the worst made, glitchiest games and becoming best at them anyway. He dives into a brand new VR game called Shangri-La Frontier and finds he'll need all his expert gamer skills to discover the secrets the game is hiding. TV anime also coming next year for a manga called Mashal Magic and Muscles. Set in a world where magic is used for everything. The main character lives deep in the forest, unable to use magic, spends all his time training and bulking up instead, brah.
Oh yeah.
One day his life's put in danger. He must find out whether his muscular body will protect him from the magic users out to get him. So, do you even lift bra? The anime series.
Yeah.
Last up, TV Tokyo announced this week a new anime in the Duel Masters franchise coming this September. Shocker. Also this week, Aniplex announced we'll host another Aniplex Online Fest this year with co-sponsorship from Sony Music on the 24th. So we should expect some news about upcoming upcoming anime and live performances there.
Nice.
Tsurai Productions and Marvel Comics revealed an upcoming crossover, a comic book miniseries to debut sometime next year. It'll be part of the Ultraman comic book continuity that began between them in 2020, and is so far focused on retelling the origins and stories of Ultraman himself. In the new crossover series, Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Captain Marvel will enter the Ultraman universe and team up with Ultraman and Ultra 7 to battle kaiju and supervillains.
Yeah, okay.
I am oddly intrigued.
October of this year. Ready to feel old? You ready? Ready to feel old? October of this year will mark the 20th anniversary of the airing of the first episode of Naruto.
Holy, really?
Yep.
Wow.
And an upcoming exhibition has been announced to celebrate the occasion. Naruto the Gallery will run from December 10th to January 31st in Akihabara. It'll feature anime footage and art highlighting how the characters grew throughout the series, their bonds, and their most epic battles. And of course, new collaborative works from video artist fans will also be screened at the event.
As long as they're not going to play AMVs set to Naruto and Linkin Park,
Yep.
I'll be fine.
Oh no,
Exactly.
that's probably guaranteed to happen.
Friends don't let friends make AMVs with Naruto and Linkin Park. That's your PSA tonight, folks.
In the end, it didn't even matter. That's all the news for this week. Thanks for watching. See you next week. All right. A lot of news. Yeah. If we see Naruto fans doing the Naruto run around the exhibition, I'll be happy. That's all I want to see.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, we have one other thing I wanted to talk about. That's worth mentioning. Cool. Let's talk about some history, shall we?
Oh, history. Yay.
Welcome to This Week in Anime History, where we talk about things that happened this week in anime history. Going all the way back to July 14th, 1958, and the premiere of Mole's Adventure in Japan. This was the first animation on TV in Japan, the first animation made for Japanese TV. If I am recalling all of my anime correctly, it is the earliest surviving Japanese anime broadcast on television.
Okay.
It was a 9-minute animation. Not only the first televised animation, also the first full-color broadcast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh.
absolutely.
Dang.
The story is about a mole who is bothered by the sun's light, so decides to leave Earth in a rocket ship. So,
Oh, I remember this. Yes. Okay.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
Reasonable
It's
decision
hilarious.
to make. Jumping forward 30 years
Oof.
Dang.
to July 16th, 1988. Anyone guess? Somewhere in 1988.
Akira.
Yep, absolutely. The premiere of Akira in Japan in theaters.
Damn.
And for those who watched it, remember that it begins with the explosion happening in Tokyo. The date of that explosion being July 16th, 1988.
Yes.
Bad day for Tokyo Tower.
Yeah.
Where's my walker? I need some apple sauce.
I just can't believe it's been that long ago.
I know, right?
Been a while.
Yeah.
But they definitely were one of the greats. Jumping forward another 11 years, July 12th, 1987, another great anime film, Princess Mononoke, premiered in Japan.
Oh, wow.
We've all seen that movie. That is quite a film.
Indeed.
Well known for the fact that they showed all the bloodiest bits on television in Japan. Let everyone know this is not Kiki. This is not Totoro. But yeah, it's that was, imagine going to theaters to watch Princess Mononoke for the first time in the premiere, not knowing what you're getting into. Watching that,
Bringing little Johnny. Oh, you're gonna love this so much.
Oh,
Oh,
full
my
of cute,
God.
fluffy things and all
Things
kinds of good stuff. No, it's not.
Death.
and
Blood.
it's hard to believe 2 years later, Toonami made the transition to anime, primarily anime programming. Before that, they were showing Inhumanoids and Space Ghost and all those cartoons with Moltar.
Wow.
And July 10th was when they switched to Tom as the host and the Absolution, and they're primarily anime-focused programming. And that is where anime began really taking off in America in a broad way, because now folks could actually watch anime on television. Weren't a lot of other places to do that. Folks tend to forget, like that was one of the only ways.
Deal.
Yeah,
That was a big deal.
It was huge.
Absolutely.
And I still remember the stoners getting mad about that. Like being legitimately like they're just like, why are we watching this?
Yeah.
I want my Space Ghost. I want my mate. And it's just like, no, come on, man.
Yeah.
Just give it a chance.
Yeah. Try Gundam Wing over the Herculoids. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just give it a try.
I don't know. Herculoids are pretty good.
I beg to differ. That's all the history we have for this week. See you next week.
Cool.
All right. We've been streaming for a long time. So I'm going to say real quick, because again, I can't pull it up. I don't have the thing queued up for this week. I have a question. What did we learn on the show tonight? Lovely.
Pitch Perfect. We should have our own Idol series.
It's in the works.
Definitely. I learned that an anime season can come around where it is mostly middle of the road all the way through.
Yep.
There's not a single show in here that I despised or I really disliked. The shows I'm not going to watch more of. And the shows I really liked. But like this has been a really solid season for me so far.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a season like this in a very long time, which is great. John in chat is correct. There's never enough Idols series or sports ball anime series.
They
and
will
I've
be
also
here long after we are all gone.
yes, exactly. I've also learned that Kashan is infinitely variable.
Yes.
Apparently.
There are many ways of taking that and doing interesting things with it. So, well done, you. Steve, how about you?
I have learned that I'm watching myself on the thing screen here, and I got a very white face, like dude in front parallel pharmacy, and I'm a little bit worried that I'm gonna like go on the couch and be like,
Please don't.
No, I don't want to either. I don't. I'm not going gently into the night. I never do actually.
Rage against the dying light,
rage on. I've learned that this was probably the first season, and it's more to your point, Brent, the first season in a while, multiple seasons, where I like most of what was presented to me, more or less. You know, I only had really strong feelings about, in a negative way, of one show, the soccer show, of course, and just kind of because, you know, when do I not? And I'm more or less ambivalent about the other one, with slavery. But the rest of it, usually I have one or two shows that I'll watch and I'll like DM you guys and go, hey, watch this. This is really cool. And now I got like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
Which was really, really kind of nice. And I'm looking forward to watching more of this season. I've learned that I'm blind in my left eye at the moment, and from watching, and I'm not sure if it's like actually moving or doing any of the Art Deco stuff, but I'm seeing multiple colors. Anyway, I've also learned what else did I learn? Because it's very, this is unusual for me because I actually learned stuff this time around. So it's like there was a crack in the obsidian that's just going to sit. We're going to let a little bit of knowledge go into your head this time, because you've been a good boy and you've not been.
Well, remember, Grasshopper, even one drip of water can wear down a stone.
Yeah, that's true. One drip of malt liquor can turn into a seething, raging volcano. I have learned. The last thing I've learned is, and something that I think we've already known about me. Stop making soccer anime. Okay, moving on.
John?
Well, now they're going to be twice as many soccer anime because the soccer anime gods have heard you, and next season's be nothing but soccer.
Soccer idols.
Exactly. Soccer. Oh boy, here we go. Oh, what did I learn? Okay, let's see. That you can certainly make sexy figures out of anything, including
Mhm.
Transformers.
Yep.
Robots
Mhm.
are
Yep.
sexy. I guess that's a thing. I also learned that it would actually test my acting chops if I could pretend to be enough of a Pokemon fan to actually
Mm.
do the Pokemon thing. I could fake that to be
Okay.
on TV. I could fake
Mhm.
it. Although I
I
would
look
have
forward to
to,
seeing that.
yeah, I'd have to effectively be like, yes, I love the Pokemons,
Yeah.
the monster pocket, what
Mhm.
the thing, the little
Yeah.
card stuff. Let me
Yeah.
be on TV. Give me
My
money.
favorite character is Pikachu.
Exactly. I like the one that's the dog and has the thing. You're talking about Hong Kong Fooey. Isn't that a Pokey dude? Or whatever this thing we're doing is a Digi guy. What?
Mhm.
I could do that. And I wholeheartedly agree. This is a. It's not an amazing season. It's not a terrible season. It's right in the middle of the road.
Mm.
It's like there is a lot. Even I'm going to err on the side with Steve with the shoot Gold of the Future. I'm not watching that. I am not going back to it.
No.
But everything else, there's bits and pieces of it where it's like, I could watch that.
Mhm.
Some of them I definitely would put higher up the watch priority, but there's not
Mhm.
any of them that I'm just like flat out, nope, can't do it. But for the soccer one,
Mhm.
even the idol stuff, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not going to toss it out the door if I have time to get to it.
Mhm.
None of it's like so objectionable to me that I can't really get into it. So
Yeah.
cool. That makes it tough because it's going to really load up the already backlogged
Mhm.
watch list. But I still, and I've said it in watch parties gone by, I'd much rather be in this place than
Yeah.
like scrabbling over like little bits and pieces, being like, I hate everything but this one. I
Mhm.
maybe could watch it and then have nothing to do. Like,
Yeah, we've definitely had those seasons in the past.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I like the wealth of opportunity. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, that'll do it for us for tonight. Thank you, as always, so much for watching. Next week, we're finishing the second Idion movie. Yay.
More screaming, burning death, people.
Ace baby.
Hey,
Yay.
Yep.
Ace baby.
You get. We will have reactions. We will have
Yes.
opinions.
Oh,
next week,
God.
definitely.
We'll have thoughts, notes, if you will.
Yes. So Idion Be Invoked is next week, and I can tonight announce that after that we're going to watch Mobile Suit Gundam: The 8th MS Team, one of the great OVAs in the Gundam franchise. If you're not familiar with Gundam, this is a great place to jump in. You do not need to know anything about the rest of any of the Gundam universes to understand and enjoy this one. And I hope you will enjoy some 8th MS Team, starting with us in 2 weeks. That'll be the plan. Which will also be. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I take that back.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because in 2 weeks is Otakon.
Yep.
Otakon.
Yes. We will be doing an Otakon special in 2 weeks, talking about Otakon and how it went. Because I will be doing all the panels at Otakon. I kid.
It's the all bred Otakon.
Yeah, I'll be at a lot of panels at Otakon. So
It's 5, isn't it?
at least I'm doing 6
Six.
panels. So both with the Otaku Brain Trust, a group I'm part of, as well as my own panels. So search for Brent in the schedule, and you'll find me there. And it should be fun. So I'll let you know how that is if I have a voice at that point.
And the next panel is Brent sleeping. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. So Idion next week, Otakon the following week, and then 8th MS Team basically in August. That'll be the plan.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's that coming up. So it should be fun.
I like John's comment, Gundam the A-Team.
Yeah.
I love it when a Gundam comes together. What?
If you can find us, you can hire Gundam the A-Team. Thank you all for watching. This is great. Love it as always. Have you guys all have a great week. And until next time, watch more anime.
Oyasumi nasai.
That is to Papa.